Chapter 3009, Surrounded by tigers and wolves, we have to take our revenge. Joining the force created by Emperor God Hong Tian is the worst choice we can make. In the base of the three-eyed tribe, the leader of the three-eyed tribe clenched his fist and said with a pale face. He didn't want the three-eyed tribe to be annihilated in his hands. If they were to be annihilated, he would be the sinner of the three-eyed tribe. Spread the news about Dragon Palace immediately. Exaggerate it. Say that Dragon Palace has a divine dragon with a very pure bloodline. Say that they have a large number of alternative dragons. The leader of the three-eyed tribe said with a gloomy face. I don't believe that no forces around the Inkhan tribe ruins will be tempted by this news. Once they go over to investigate, they will definitely clash with Dragon Palace. Dragon Palace's alternative dragons with the divine dragon bloodline will definitely become the hunting target of many forces. He continued with a cold face. Yes, leader. Let's spread the news immediately. The experts of the three-eyed tribe nodded immediately. Contact the four-armed tribe. Also, announce that all clansmen should leave this place. The leader of the three-eyed tribe said the last sentence weakly. With that, he closed his eyes and leaned back on the throne. Yes. The rest of the clansmen lowered their heads and replied with an ugly expression. Soon, the disbandment of the three-eyed tribe caused an uproar among the clansmen. At the same time, the three-eyed tribe released all the information about Dragon Palace on the universe's AI. The center of the universe was incomparably vast. The information in the AI was densely packed every second. No one could receive the information from the entire center of the universe. Most of them could only receive information from a certain region. For example, if it was set to 1,000,000 light-years away, the information that could be seen would be released within 1,000,000 light-years. Moreover, the AI had a special characteristic. The information released by the experts would be at the front due to their strong mental strength. Everyone would be able to see the information released by the experts. Secondly, many forces would release the information using their real names or adding the prefix of their force. These forces and experts mainly wanted to attract powerful living beings. In the center of the universe, not every living being had their own race or force. Many living beings were rootless in the universe. There were many such living beings and some of them weren't weak either. Many races liked to recruit such people. The message released by the three-eyed tribe was completely in the name of the entire three-eyed tribe. When this message was sent out, it instantly attracted the attention of countless people. Some specialized members of domain-level races also immediately paid attention to this message. When they saw the contents, all the forces were slightly shocked. A divine dragon with a purer bloodline and many drakes. Is this real or fake? Do you think the three-eyed tribe would be kind enough to tell everyone about this? Is the three-eyed race plotting something? When the experts of all the forces saw this message, they were filled with shock and suspicion. A flood dragon, a pure-blooded divine dragon, was a huge treasure. A powerful flood dragon could be exchanged for many treasures in the center of the universe. If the bloodline was relatively pure, those powerful universe races would be willing to pay a huge price to purchase it. Now that they were so kind as to publicize this information, it was obvious that they were plotting something. But soon, another two sensational pieces of news came out. The three-eyed clan had disbanded. The four-armed tribe had also disbanded. There was also news from the four-armed tribe that 80% of their experts had been killed by the Dragon Palace experts. The Dragon Palace, for the first time, appeared in the eyes of the forces in the center of the universe. In the next 2 days, more information about the four-armed tribe and the three-eyed tribe appeared. The forces in the center of the universe also had some understanding of this matter. The two tribes accidentally discovered that there was a starry sky within the Inkhan tribe's ruins. In that starry sky, there were opportunities and legends about the divine dragon. With regards to this discovery, the two tribes thought that they had encountered an opportunity and immediately sent a large number of experts over. They did not expect to encounter a disaster. I didn't expect there to be a void within the Inkhan tribe's ruins and the existence of a flood dragon. If the news released by the four-armed tribe and the three-eyed tribe is true, then this dragon palace is not simple. It's a little too exaggerated to become such a colossus in just a few decades. The three-eyed tribe and the four-armed tribe said that the Dragon Palace had obtained the inheritance of a powerful divine dragon and the Ink-Han tribe. Is this true? The two tribes must be trying to get someone else to do their dirty work. They purposely exaggerated some things. On the universe AI, countless people were discussing. However, some forces were tempted by the three-eyed tribe's news. Not for any other reason, but the temptation of a flood dragon and a divine dragon was too great. Moreover, they also wanted to know whether the things announced by the three-eyed tribe were true or not. If they were, then, especially to some of the domain races, they were even more tempted by this news. Some of the stronger forces secretly sent some people into the bedazzling starry sky to investigate the news. The situation is not in our Dragon Palace's favor. Prime Minister Turtle was also the first to receive the news on the universe AI. Looking at the information, his face turned solemn. Currently, the Dragon Palace knew the forces around the Ink-Han tribe's ruins like the back of their hands. There were hundreds of tribes and dozens of domain races. The tribes were still fine, the strongest was only an 8th Order God Emperor. But for the domain races, the experts among them had reached the peak God Emperor realm. If a powerful domain race attacked, the Dragon Palace would not be able to defend against them. Even if the Dragon Palace's strength had improved tremendously. All spiky dragons, get ready. If you encounter any ill-intentioned people, kill them immediately. If anyone violates our rules in the bedazzling starry sky, kill them immediately. At this time, the Dragon Palace must be strong and not weak. Prime Minister Turtle gathered the leaders of the Dragon Palace and instructed. Yes, Prime Minister Turtle. Roving Demon nodded. Yaki Devilfiend, lead the venom-horned dragons and pay attention to the experts who entered the bedazzling starry sky. Find out their true intentions. Prime Minister Turtle continued to instruct Yaki Devilfiend. Yes, Prime Minister Turtle. Yaki Devilfiend nodded. Prime Minister Turtle fell into deep thought. With a thought, he transmitted the situation over to the Dragon King. At the same time, on a continent in the Ink-Han tribe's ruins, Wang Xian frowned when he received the news from Prime Minister Turtle. Ever since the Dragon Palace entered the center of the universe, it has been too passive. He frowned as he read the news. There were too many experts in the center of the universe. Currently, the Dragon Palace was not strong. In addition to the divine dragon bloodline, the entire Dragon Palace was surrounded by tigers and wolves. If they were not careful, they would be consigned to eternal damnation. Chapter 30:10. Those who offend the Dragon Palace. On the Dragon Palace can't afford to show weakness at this time. At most, we'll turn the world upside down. Wang Xian floated above a continent and looked at the ocean in front of him with a cold look in his eyes. Ever since the universe races discovered the bedazzling stars and the Dragon Palace, they thought they could do whatever they wanted. If they thought so, they would be sorely mistaken. Although the Dragon Palace wasn't strong, it could still make a domain-level race pay a heavy price. Dragon King, we've checked. Other than a few hundred wild beasts below the 5th Order God Emperor realm, there aren't any other powerful marine creatures. At this time, Tianzhan and Enlai flew over and reported to Wang Xian. Are there any treasures? Wang Xian asked. We haven't found any treasures like the refining sorcerer continent. Even if there are many treasures, they're probably limited. Tianzhan said. Let's go and check the other continents first. After that, we'll move the main Dragon Palace here. Wang Xian said. Move the main Dragon Palace here? Tianzhan was taken aback and asked, Dragon King, did something happen at the bedazzling stars? Nothing happened for the time being. But we have to take precautions and search the other continent. Wang Xian shook his head and said to Enlai. Yes, Dragon King. Enlai nodded and immediately teleported away. Soon, he returned and brought Wang Xian and the rest to another continent. In the next 10 days, Wang Xian and the rest searched the continents. However, they didn't find any powerful treasures on the continents. Dragon King, there's another continent in the center. It's also the largest continent. This continent is tens of thousands of times bigger than our Dragon Island. Enlai reported to Wang Xian when they were still on the last continent. The last continent should be the main continent of the Ink Han tribe. Even if they were annihilated, they should still have some treasures there. Tian Zhen was shining brightly at the side. Let's go. As Wang Xian spoke, they arrived at the main continent of the ruins of the Ink Han tribe. Floating in the sky, the continent in front of them was much vaster than the other 17 continents. However, what made Wang Xian and the rest frown was that a battle seemed to have broken out on this continent. Many places were destroyed. It should be the Ink Han clan's opponent, the Skeleton clan's experts. Wang Xian murmured, "Let's go. Let's do a rough check first." The treasure-seeking ants only search for treasures of the 7th Order God Emperor realm and above. He gave an order to the treasure-seeking ant and flew quickly in the void. His speed was very fast, and he only roughly scanned the continent. Of course, after flying for 10 minutes, Wang Xian's eyes narrowed and he was shocked. "There's someone below," he hurriedly said. "What? Could it be that the Ink Han clan has been discovered on the main continent? Impossible. If it was discovered, how could there be no traces of humans on the other continents?" Tian Zhen's expression changed slightly. "Conceal yourself, don't get discovered," Wang Xian said immediately. His body began to turn illusory as his pair of dragon eyes stared at the position below. Below, more than a dozen figures were constantly sparring with each other while displaying their formations. The aura they exuded was around the 5th Order God Emperor realm. More than 10 5th Order God Emperor realm Magi. Dragon King, look at what they are wearing. They are exactly the same as the clothes we saw on the corpses. At this time, Tianjin could not help but exclaim with a shocked look on his face. Black and white clothes with the word Wu written in the center. On the chest area were the words Ink Han clan. There are still people from the Ink Han clan alive. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and was a little shocked. The Ink Han clan was a primary race in the universe, and they had been destroyed for billions of years. Now, there were still people from their clan on this continent. That's highly possible. They sealed off the entire territory of their race. It's impossible that they didn't leave behind some descendants, Tianjin said in a deep voice. "Let's go and check," Wang Xian said as he looked around. The unbeginning sacred wings appeared behind him, and he flew towards the group of people below. "Who's there?" When Wang Xian flew over, the group of people looked at him with doubt, but they did not react too much. In this sealed space, there were only their own people. However, in the next moment, they fainted before they could see who it was. Soul capture. Wang Xian walked to an old man and waved his arm. Wang. A wave of information entered Wang Xian's mind, which made him frown slightly. 10 minutes later, he opened his eyes. "Dragon King, how is it?" Tianjin and the rest immediately asked. "The situation is a little unfavorable. The Ink Han clan left behind descendants on this continent. Currently, there are billions of them living on this continent." Wang Xian revealed a solemn look. "Moreover, according to the memories I obtained, the strongest descendants of the Ink Han clan have reached the peak Emperor God realm, and there are a total of 10 of them." "What?" Tian Zhen, Enlai, and the rest were shocked. 10 peak Emperor God sorcerers. This force was extremely powerful even for a domain-level race. This is bad news for us. However, there's good news. The descendants of the Ink Han clan will not be able to leave this continent for now. This continent is shrouded by chaotic arrays. Unless the Ink Han clan can produce experts of the universe supremacy level, they will be trapped here forever, Wang Xian said. Among the 18 continents, only the main continent had the descendants of the Ink Han clan. Due to the lack of resources, they had not produced any experts of the universe supremacy level. Without any experts of the universe supremacy level, they would be trapped here forever. The Ink Han clan must have left all their treasures on this continent. What a pity. Tianjin shook his head in disappointment. Even the descendants of the Ink Han clan were not something they could deal with. "Let's go. Before we have the strength of a peak emperor god, let's not come into contact with the descendants of the Ink Han clan for now," Wang Xian said to Enlai. According to the information they obtained, the Ink Han clan was not a benevolent race. Before they had the strength to speak to them on equal terms, it was better not to come into contact with them. Wang Xian did not kill the dozen people from the Ink Han clan. They did not see his group and could not leave this continent. Hence, he had nothing to worry about. Yes, Dragon King, Enlai nodded. Since then, the Ink Han clan's ruins and Dragon Palace had been explored almost completely. However, the results did not satisfy Wang Xian. Chapter 30:11, Killing those who offend the Dragon Palace. In of the 18 continents, other than 2, Wang Xian had done a thorough check on the rest of the continents. The main continent had the tinder of the Ink Han tribe. The other continents basically had no valuable treasures. Wang Xian's plan to achieve a breakthrough was dashed. He had wanted to make use of the ruins of the Ink Han tribe to raise himself to the peak Emperor God level. By then, he wouldn't have to fear anyone in this void. But now, Prime Minister Turtle, get all the members of the Dragon Palace ready. We will move the main Dragon Palace to the continent within the ruins of the Ink Han tribe. Wang Xian returned to the Dragon Palace and instructed. Dragon King, what about our side? Prime Minister Turtle pondered for a while and asked. We will continue to manage the resplendent starry sky. If anyone dares to provoke us, we will retreat to the Ink Han tribe without fear. Wang Xian said. Good. Fighting with the tribes and races in the center of the universe will also help the Dragon Palace to improve rapidly. Hee. Prime Minister Turtle nodded with a sinister look in his eyes. Dark blazing heavenly array, go and get ready. Set up a bigger altar and teleport the Dragon Palace over. Wang Xian immediately ordered the dark blazing heavenly array and the rest. Yes, Dragon King. The two of them nodded and went to prepare. Half an hour later, all the members of the Dragon Palace returned to the Dragon Palace. The main Dragon Palace had undergone a relocation. The humongous Dragon Palace appeared in the Divine Dragon Continent. The Divine Dragon Continent was the name given by the Dragon Palace. On this continent, 80% of the land was the ocean. The vast ocean was the perfect residence for the Dragon Palace. Dragon King, the ocean on this continent is much bigger than our Dragon Island. It's more comfortable here. The group of Dragon Palace leaders looked at the entire ocean and were satisfied. We retreated here so that we don't have to worry about anything. There are only 2 million members of the Dragon Palace, including the devouring dragons. This is considered a small number in the universe. This also makes it easier for us to act without any worries. If anyone dares to attack the Dragon Palace, we will counterattack, Wang Xian said to the members. This is interesting. Who cares about the tribes and races? As long as they provoke us, we will play with them slowly. Orokai smiled with excitement in his eyes. The good thing is that the other races don't have any ideas about us. Then we can also officially enter the center of the universe and seek development. Prime Minister Turtle replied with a smile. All right, let's familiarize ourselves with this continent. Wang Xian chuckled. With a swift move, he brought Enlai to the other continents to build dragon palaces. Since the Dragon Palace could be teleported, it would be more convenient for the Dragon Palace members to enter the other continents in the future. Moreover, he had yet to thoroughly search the other continents. Disregarding everything else, a few thousand God Emperor-class God equipment could be found. That was a huge sum of money. Just as the Dragon Palace was moving and Wang Xian was searching for treasures, around the ruins of the Mohan clan in the center of the universe, some people from the forces had already stepped into the resplendent starry sky. Many forces were curious about the three-eyed tribe and the four-armed tribe. This was especially so for those domain-level races. They were stronger and weren't afraid of the Dragon Palace. Naturally, they sent people over to investigate. During these 2 months, many people had arrived at the planet on the other side of the world. There are many people from other forces around here. If what the three-eyed tribe and four-armed tribe said is true, who wouldn't want to take a bite out of them? There's a habitable planet ahead. Let's head over. In the void of the world, 5 old men scanned their surroundings and fixed their eyes on the planet in front of them as they spoke with smiles. Let's go. The 5 of them moved and flew over immediately. These 5 people had 2 horns on their heads. They exuded a ferocious aura and had big noses. They were a domain-level race around the Mohan clan. An ordinary domain-level race would have a 9th-order God-Emperor realm expert guarding them, while a powerful domain-level race would have a peak God-Emperor realm expert guarding them. All 5 of them were 6th-order God-Emperor realm experts. For them to send such experts over, one could imagine how much they valued this starry sky. Swish! The 5 of them moved quickly and soon arrived above the planet. The people on this planet are really weak. Let's go and find some people to verify the information. The 5 of them moved and landed in a luxurious manner. Who? When the people in the manor saw the 5 of them, their faces changed. When they saw their faces, their eyes narrowed. Wang. The old man in the middle waved his arm and a surge of energy rushed towards the God King realm expert in the manor. His face turned pale as his body trembled slightly and his eyes went blank. Tell us everything you know about the Dragon Palace. The 5 of them stared at him and asked indifferently. Who are you people? What do you want? At this time, someone in the manor noticed the situation and immediately walked over and exclaimed. Noisy ants. The 5 of them didn't even look at him. With a wave of their arm, they killed him. The Dragon Palace is the ruler of our resplendent starry sky. The God King realm expert with a blank expression described the situation. Hearing his information, the 5 old men looked at each other with shock in their eyes. They waved their arms and took the artificial intelligence on him to search for information about the Dragon Palace. This is a picture of the 9 divine dragons in the Dragon Palace. They look like the legendary wind divine dragons. They looked at the pictures and were slightly shocked. The 3-eyed race and the 4-armed race weren't exaggerating at all. They are definitely sea dragons with powerful divine dragon bloodlines. Is the Dragon Palace really developing at such a terrifying speed? This is unbelievable. Inform the clan immediately. I think we can send more people here. The 5 of them said immediately. What happened here was happening in many places on this planet. The experts of the various domain-level races and races directly controlled the people on this planet, forcing them to spit out everything they knew. 99% of the people who were controlled were killed. The experts from the Dragon Phoenix God Dynasty who were stationed there immediately learned about the situation on Ming planet and spread the news. At the location of the Dragon Palace, Feng Luan, Guan Shuqing, and the other girls were furious when they heard the news. Currently, the world belonged to the Dragon Phoenix God Dynasty and the Dragon Phoenix God Dynasty belonged to the Dragon Palace. They obviously didn't take the Dragon Palace seriously by killing people so unscrupulously. Xiao Xian. The girls flew towards the Dragon King Palace immediately. Chapter 30:12. Those who offend Dragon Palace descend. I already know some of the situation. Wang Xian said to Shuqing and Feng Luan after hearing what they said. Sitting on the dragon throne, a cold look flashed in his eyes. Xiao Xian, then we, Guan Shuqing and the rest frowned and said. Let me handle it. Our bedazzling starry sky might be in chaos soon. Don't bother about the Dragon Phoenix God Dynasty, Wang Xian said to the girls. All right then, Guan Shuqing and the rest nodded sensibly. The powerful races in the universe weren't something the Dragon Phoenix God Dynasty could handle. Tian Zhen and Lai, follow me to investigate. Barky Devilshaw, you guys go too. Bring some subordinates. Wang Xian ordered. Yes, Dragon King. Tian Zhen and the rest nodded with cold eyes. In a flash, they came to the Dragon Palace teleportation array and arrived at the Ming planet. The Dragon Palace on the Ming planet was destroyed previously and Wang Xian built another one. This time, the experts from the various forces didn't enter the Dragon Palace when they arrived at the Ming planet. They arrived at the Dragon Palace through the teleportation array. Wang Xian and the rest hid themselves and flew towards the mainland. They were fast. When they arrived at the mainland, Tianjin took out a compass. This sorcery artifact was obtained from the mainland of the Mohan family. It could check if there were any deaths in a place. Wang Xian and the rest flew over when they saw the location shown on the compass. When they entered a manor, they saw dozens of corpses on the ground. Wang Xian and the rest had a cold look on their faces. Killing wantonly in the territory of the Dragon Palace was a disregard for them. Search. Wang Xian immediately ordered the sky array. Yes, Dragon King. Tianzhen nodded and activated the array. Currently, Tianzhen had the strength of a 7th-order god emperor, which was comparable to a peak expert from an ordinary tribe. Soon, the scene of dozens of corpses on the ground appeared. 2 horns on their heads. They should be from the rare ancient tribe, a domain-level tribe. The strongest expert in the tribe has the strength of a 9th-order god emperor. Wang Xian's eyes flickered coldly when he saw the scene ahead. Lock on to them, he said immediately. Yes. Tianzhen nodded and started locking on with the array. Found them. He's still on this planet. Heavenly Formation said coldly. Go. Wang Xian and the rest flew over immediately. In a mansion, 5 figures were sitting inside, resting leisurely. One could smell a faint scent of blood in the air. Obviously, the owner of this place had been killed, courting death. Just as the 5 of them were lying there leisurely, a voice exploded in their ears. The expressions of the 5 people changed dramatically, and fear appeared in their eyes. TSK, TSK, TSK. How dare you make trouble in our dragon palace? Go to hell, said Yaki Devilshaw coldly. The venom-horned dragons behind him flew towards them. How dare you? We are people from an ancient race. The 5 of them were horrified. They wanted to resist, but at this moment, a terrifying dragon might rushed into their minds. The bodies of the few of them stiffened. The 5 venom-horned dragons had directly entered their bodies, parasitizing them. The 5 of them struggled for a while before their eyes widened in shock. Slowly, the 5 of them stood up, and a black light flashed in their eyes. Dragon King. They cupped their hands and greeted respectfully. What news? Wang Xian asked immediately. Dragon King, the 5 of them have passed on our message. The ancient race will send an 8th-order God Emperor Realm expert, 5 7th-order God Emperor Realm experts, and 26th-order God Emperor Realm expert, said one of the venom-horned dragons in the middle. Is that so? Wang Xian narrowed his eyes, and a cold light flickered in them. When will they arrive? Wang Xian narrowed his eyes and asked. They will arrive here in 10 days, the venom-horned dragon reported. Very well, we will wait for them for 10 days. Wang Xian said coldly. Come, let's go somewhere, he said to Heavenly Formation. Heavenly Formation nodded and continued searching. Here. Soon, they arrived at another place, a secluded street. There were no corpses around. They should have been disposed of. Wang. Heavenly Formation waved his arm, and waves of energy enveloped the surroundings. Soon, an image appeared in front of them. A race with thin limbs and a slightly larger head appeared in their line of sight. This is the Brain Race, a domain-level race. Their strongest expert is a 9th-order God Emperor. As Heavenly Formation spoke, he immediately set up an array to lock it down. There are only 2 people in the void far away, Heavenly Formation said. Go. Wang Xian and the rest made a move and immediately flew towards the sky above. Wang Xian's eyes shone brightly as he locked onto a star in the void. There are 2 people in the meteorite, 7th-order God Emperor realm. Wang Xian's dragon eyes looked through the meteorite and said, Let me intimidate them and parasitize them. Wang Xian said immediately. Yes, Dragon King. The 2 venom-horned dragons beside the 8-limbed dragons nodded. Wang Xian had killed a total of 12 7th-order God Emperor realm experts from the 3-eyed tribe and 4-armed tribe. The strength of these experts had all been used on the venom-horned dragon and spike dragon. Prime Minister Turtle and the rest knew that these 2 dragon species would play a huge role in the upcoming matters. The venom-horned dragon and the 8-limbed devil Shaw had 10 7th-order God Emperor realm experts. There were 4 spike dragon species. Boom. Wang Xian and the rest flew over. Before the other party could react, a powerful pressure surged towards them. The pupils of the 2 7th-order God Emperor realm experts shrunk, and a look of fear appeared on their faces. Swish swish. 2 black figures charged into the meteorite. Under Wang Xian's powerful dragon might, the 2 7th-order God Emperor realm experts from the Brain Tribe could not resist and were parasitized. Boom. Soon, 2 figures charged out. Dragon King. The two experts from the Brain Tribe who were parasitized greeted Wang Xian respectfully. Dragon King, the Brain Tribe will send 2 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts. As for the other experts, we did not receive any news. They will arrive in about 13 days. They reported immediately. 2. Wang Xian frowned slightly and nodded his head. 2 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts. If he could kill one of them by surprise, the other one could be killed quickly. It was not a big problem. Let's continue. I want to see who is the hunter and who is the prey in the upcoming battle, Wang Xian said to Tian Zhan and the rest. His eyes were filled with violent killing intent. Those who covet the Dragon Palace and offend it must die. Chapter 30:13, Slaughter a Path of Blood, or the Hero's 1-inch Dragon King. This was done by an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert, and a shaman at that. He erased all traces here. Somewhere on 9 Destruction Planet, Heaven Formation looked ahead and frowned. After dealing with the 2 experts from the Brain Race, they continued searching for traces. This time, they received even worse news. An 8th Order God Emperor Realm shaman had come to investigate. A race that could casually send out an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert should be considered one of the stronger domain-level forces. Let's continue. As they continued searching, Tianjin found the people who entered the 9 Destruction Planet one by one. All of them had captured a citizen of the 9 Destruction Planet and threatened them. After that, none of them survived. In 3 hours, Wang Xian and the rest had found more than a dozen races. A few races dare to be arrogant in our Dragon Palace. Wang Xian's eyes flashed coldly. Dragon King, this is what we have found. There is still some information that we haven't found. Tianjin's eyes flickered. This was only the ones who entered the 9 Destruction Planet. Who knew how many more people did not enter? Roughly estimating, there were at least 20 experts who came to the resplendent starry sky. 13 of them were parasitized by the venom-horned dragon. Since they want to attack us and covet us, then we don't have to worry. Anli, immediately search for the evil wind race, life spirit race, and thousand hands race on the universe AI and head towards their nests. A few small races dare to covet our Dragon Palace, Wang Xian said with a murderous look. Yes, Dragon King, and Lai immediately nodded. Since they want to kill us, let's slaughter a path of blood first. Just in time, slaughter a path of blood. Wang Xian's eyes flashed. Using the fresh blood of the races in the center of the cosmos to increase the Dragon Palace's strength. And Lai immediately searched. It was easy to search the nests of some races. And Lai's figure disappeared after finding a star map. And Lai's speed was a few hundred times the speed of light. It was not an exaggeration. And Lai's second was equivalent to a light year. With the star map, he could reach the nests of those races in less than half an hour. With such great mobility, he could visit all the races in the center of the cosmos in a day. Dragon King, after more than an hour, and Lai appeared before Wang Xian. I have investigated the evil wind tribe, Dark Ardent respectfully reported. Oh, did the evil wind race finish their investigation? Return to the Dragon Palace and bring Roving Demon and the rest. Prepare to hunt. Wang Xian raised an eyebrow and said to Enlai. It's Dragon King, Enlai grinned. His figure flashed and disappeared in an instant. Back in the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian brought along Roving Demon and the other 20 strongest spiky dragons. Then, they appeared in the sky above a planet. Dragon King, this is one of the main planets of the Evil Wind Clan. According to the information I received, there are a few grotto heavens of the Evil Wind Clan below. Enlai immediately reported. Heavenly Array, check the strongest combat power on this planet. Wang Xian immediately instructed the Sky Array. It's Dragon King, Tianjin nodded. He took out a compass and scanned the area in front of him. 1/8th Order God Emperor Realm Expert. Tianjin immediately said. Let's go, let's start hunting. Sky Formation, send the location to Roving Demon and the others. We will assassinate them. Wang Xian said coldly. Tianjin nodded. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Wang Xian and the rest of the spiky dragons flew towards the planet below. Their speed was fast. This time, All of them were the strongest elites of the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian flew straight towards the center of the planet. Enlai, find out the exact location of the 8th Order God Emperor. Wang Xian instructed Enlai. Yes, Dragon King. The 8th Order God Emperor will be able to sense my presence the moment I appear. Enlai said. It's all right. It's fine to lure him out. I'll launch a killing blow instantly, Wang Xian said. Yes. Enlai nodded. Both of them landed on a corner of the planet. The 8th Order God Emperor was residing in a grotto heavens that was surrounded by mountains and rivers. They were within 100 kilometers of the place. Wang Xian looked at Enlai. Enlai nodded and disappeared in an instant. Who's there? Soon, an incomparably cold voice sounded. Following which, a powerful aura came from a cave. A 10-meter-tall figure shrouded in a hurricane flew out. He stared at Enlai with a murderous look. Wang Xian was at the back. This is the moment. Wang Xian's eyes flashed with cold killing intent when he saw the 8th Order God Emperor. The unbeginning sacred wings appeared behind him in an instant. His dragon eyes locked onto the 8th Order God Emperor. Hua La Lane chains appeared out of thin air, binding the demonic wind tribe's 8th Order God Emperor realm expert. Die. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with killing intent. The 5 elements dragon claws struck towards him. What? The evil wind tribe expert who was suddenly attacked felt the changes in his surroundings. His expression changed drastically. He quickly turned around. The wind-attributed evil wind tribe expert was fast. But in front of the unbeginning sacred wings, he paled in comparison. PFFF. The 5 elements dragon claws pierced through his body. Grayish death energy enveloped him. Cough 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 cough. Who are you? The evil wind tribe expert widened his eyes and turned around. His body trembled as he asked in a low voice. Dragon Palace, Dragon King. Wang Xian replied emotionlessly without the slightest feeling. Boom. With a wave of his dragon claws, the evil wind tribe expert's life force was absorbed into the mother nest. Deputy Patriarch. Deputy Patriarch. At this time, exclamations sounded. More than a dozen evil wind tribe experts flew over after sensing the commotion. 2 of them were 7th Order God Emperor realm experts, while the rest were 6th Order God Emperor realm experts. Boom boom boom. But before they could react, Wang Xian flew over and killed them in an instant. They didn't even have the strength to resist. They were killed without knowing what happened. The vast universe was just that cruel. After killing the experts of the Yaoang Wind tribe in an instant, the situation did not cause any commotion. Wang Xian waved his arm and left the words Dragon Palace on the ground. Dragon King is mighty. Dragon King is invincible. Enlai teleported over and flattered Wang Xian. Let's wait for a while. Roving Demon and the rest should be finished soon. Wang Xian chuckled. Hee, Dragon King, I'll make a move too. Leave those below the 5th Order God Emperor realm to me. Enlai chuckled. He took out an array compass and disappeared in an instant. Enlai's assassination skills were more terrifying than the Spike Dragon. With his current 3rd Order God Emperor realm strength, he could kill a 4th Order God Emperor realm expert in an instant. Moreover, 4th Order God Emperor realm experts wouldn't be able to react, much less 5th Order God Emperor realm experts. But this was already terrifying enough. Chapter 3014, Slaughter a Path of Blood, or the heroes 2 and 8th Order God Emperor realm expert was killed. There was no need for Wang Xian to do anything else. Given Roving and the rest's strength, they could easily assassinate a 7th Order God Emperor realm expert. There were over 1,000 God Emperors on this planet, and it was one of the core planets of the evil wind tribe. However, the 1,000 God Emperors disappeared rapidly under the attack of Enlai and Roving Demon. Dragon King, it's done. Roving Demon, Enlai, and the rest returned 20 minutes later. Haha, I alone killed over 700 of them, Enlai said excitedly. Dragon King, I've erased all traces they left behind. Tianjin flew over and said with a smile. Enlai, let's go to the next location. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes and continued. Yes, Dragon King. Enlai nodded his head and disappeared. Wang Xian and the rest flew into the void, waiting for Enlai's news. Boom, boom, boom. However, in less than 10 minutes, on the planet of the evil Wind Clan, an imposing aura rose into the sky. Many creatures of the evil wind race that were more than 10 meters tall and looked like cyan wind demons flew over through the teleportation formation. When they arrived at their deputy patriarch's blessed land, their faces were filled with fear and embarrassment. Patriarch, the deputy patriarch's vitality disappeared here. The battle also happened here. The deputy patriarch should have been killed in one move. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been killed so silently. The evil wind tribe did not belong to the human race. Their bodies were green, and they were 10 meters tall. Their arms were connected to a wing, and their heads were slightly protruding. One of the experts from the Yawang Wind Clan had a gloomy look on his face as he roared with fear in his eyes. To be able to kill an 8th-order God Emperor in an instant meant that the other party could kill them too. An 8th-order God Emperor was one of the strongest experts in their tribe. In the center, the leader of the evil Wind tribe, who was about 11 to 12 meters tall, looked around with fear. When he saw the words on the ground not far away, his eyes narrowed. Boom! In a flash, he appeared in front of the words. Dragon Palace. He roared when he saw the words on the ground. Dragon Palace? Is it that Dragon Palace? The Dragon Palace in the starry space is theirs. Damn, damn. When the people behind him saw these two words, they instantly thought of the forces that were receiving the most attention in this space. The power in the space within the ruins of the Ink-Han dynasty, the Dragon Palace. Why are they attacking us? Could it be that they already know that our people have entered their territory? Now you want revenge? Even if they know, the speed of their revenge is too fast. Our people have just arrived in that starry sky and have just sent the message. This Dragon Palace is obviously trying to intimidate us. However, their strength is really terrifying. They actually killed so many of our experts in such a short time. Even the deputy team leader. I think we'd better not provoke such a powerful force. The group of experts from the evil Wind Clan had ugly expressions on their faces. At the same time, they were a little frightened. Such strength was no weaker than theirs. In fact, it might even be stronger than theirs. It was clearly unwise to provoke such an opponent. Inform the elders who have gone to that part of the starry sky to come back. This isn't something we can get involved in, the clan leader of the evil Wind tribe said with an ugly expression. The vice-clan head had been assassinated without a sound or a trace, and it had not caused any commotion. One could well imagine the strength of the other party. Moreover, thousands of god emperors on the entire planet had died. Such terrifying strength made him shudder. If they were to really fight, the evil Wind tribe might not be a match for them. Yes, clan leader. The experts from the evil Wind tribe nodded their heads solemnly. Dragon King, the Living Soul tribe has locked onto them. Let's go and get them. In the void above, Enlai appeared beside Wang Xian and the rest. He grinned widely and spoke with a smile. Let's go. Wang Xian smiled and nodded his head. They moved and disappeared in an instant. The Living Soul tribe was a tribe of sorcerers. The strongest expert also had the strength of an 8th-order god emperor. Moreover, the overall strength of the Living Soul tribe was much stronger than the evil Wind tribe. The combat strength of the sorcerers was generally stronger than the other tribes. However, other than the sorcerers who focused on cultivating their physical bodies, the array sorcerers and curse sorcerers had extremely weak physical bodies. Once they got close to them, even if they were a level lower, they could still kill them. For example, Enlai could only kill 4th-order God Emperor realm experts. However, he could kill 5th-order God Emperor realm magicians. Dragon King, the sorcerers are very vigilant. They will set up arrays at their residences. You must be careful, roving demon. Somewhere on the Living Soul tribe's main planet, the heavenly array reminded. Don't worry, we can perform an instant illusion. As long as they are within 1,000 kilometers, we can definitely kill them, roving demon said confidently. Surprisingly, with their assassination techniques, it was not difficult for them to assassinate sorcerers of the same level. Be careful, they still have sorcery weapons. I'll make the first move. The commotion here will definitely attract the attention of the experts on the entire planet. Wait for an opportunity to assassinate them. Wang Xian said to them. Yes, Dragon King, Roving Demon and the rest nodded their heads. Heavenly Array, help me lock onto the location of that sorcerer. And Lai, come and pinpoint the exact location of that 8th Order God Emperor sorcerer. Wang Xian said to them. An 8th Order God Emperor sorcerer's array formation was stronger than the Heavenly Array. The Heavenly Array could only sense the location that was threatening to him. That would definitely be the location of the 8th Order God Emperor sorcerer. As for the Heavenly Array, it could quickly lock onto the exact location of that sorcerer. If the Yamato no Demonshaw and the rest of the venom-horned dragons came over and slowly infiltrated, it would be safer. However, Wang Xian felt that it was unnecessary to deal with these races. Attack with brute force. Heavenly Array and Lai nodded his head and immediately went to investigate. The assassination this time was much more troublesome than the previous one. Half an hour later, Heavenly Array and Lai and the rest locked onto a location. Dragon King, there's a powerful array in the domain ahead. There should be an 8th Order God Emperor realm expert inside, Heavenly Array said as he looked at Lai. I'll go and investigate. Lai nodded his head. Hide in the surroundings and be ready to strike. Roving Demon ordered his subordinates. The Spinulosa dragons nodded their heads. Lai moved and entered the domain instantly. The array formation was useless against him. Rumble. Who dares to barge into my holy message domain? Soon, the void ahead was filled with lightning, and the entire domain was covered in lightning. A cold roar reverberated across the entire planet. An old man holding a lightning rod floated in the center of the lightning, scanning his surroundings. His out. Wang Xian squinted his eyes as a chilly light flashed in his eyes. Dragon King, be careful. An 8th Order God Emperor realm sorcerer can fight against those of a higher realm. Don't engage in a prolonged battle. Heavenly Array reminded. Chapter 30:15, Carving a Bloody Path and Terrorizing the Crowd 3 Rumble Rumble Rumble. Wang Xian naturally knew how terrifying an 8th Order God Emperor realm sorcerer was. Once he couldn't get close, he wouldn't be able to do anything to his opponent no matter how fast he was. Once he got close, it would be much easier for Wang Xian to kill his opponent. The unbeginning saint wings flapped and Wang Xian pushed his speed to the limit. A pair of dragon horns gradually appeared on his head. He stared at the old man with a violent aura in his eyes. He flapped his wings and charged forward at a terrifying speed. His arms turned into dragon claws as he charged forward. Ha! When Wang Xian charged over, the old man with the lightning scepter immediately noticed him. The old man's eyes narrowed. He pointed the lightning scepter in his hand towards Wang Xian. Crackle! In an instant, an extremely horrifying thunderbolt struck towards Wang Xian. Boom! The lightning bolt was so fast that Wang Xian's expression changed. His figure moved, directly dodging the lightning attack, directly rushing into the dense lightning in front of him. Such terrifying speed! The old man with the lightning scepter was shocked. He waved his arm and a lightning decree appeared in front of him. The lightning decree was covered in dense lightning bolts and a terrifying lightning beast quickly condensed on its surface. The thunder beast galloped and charged towards Wang Xian. Who is it? How dare you attack me? The old man with the lightning scepter roared. Such powerful strength. Wang Xian's expression changed when he saw his attack. He was indeed an 8th Order God Emperor realm sorcerer. However, the lightning beast was still slower than him. With a swift movement, he dodged the thunder beast and continued to attack the old man. Damn it, such terrifying speed. The old man with the lightning scepter panicked when he saw Wang Xian's speed. The lightning decree in front of him released dense lightning bolts towards Wang Xian. 5 elements dragon claw. Wang Xian didn't hesitate as he executed his mystique. The greyish dragon claw swung towards his surroundings. The lightning bolts were split apart and the distance between him and the old man was getting closer. Rumbling thunder. The old man with the lightning scepter was shocked as he landed his scepter on the lightning decree. Boom! Lightning filled the sky, and a terrifying power of lightning surrounded the old man. Then, it spread out in all directions. Not good. When Wang Xian saw the old man's ranged attack, his expression changed slightly. The old man's lightning beast attack could definitely threaten a ninth-order God Emperor realm expert. Even if this attack wasn't as terrifying as the lightning beast's attack, it was still slightly weaker. Charge. As long as we can block it, we can destroy it. The yin-yang dragon coiled around Wang Xian and protected him tightly. Ka. However, the yin-yang dragon board was unable to withstand such an attack. Cracks began to appear on its surface as it slowly collapsed. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes. The strength of this old man was a little terrifying. Secondly, the old man had the geographical advantage. Even if he suddenly launched a sneak attack and was not far away from him, the formation that he had set up in advance could be activated instantly. Crackle. Incomparably powerful thunderbolts bombarded his body. This caused his expression to change again. A powerful bolt of lightning landed on his body, causing him to freeze. But suddenly, the left wing of the unbeginning saint wings behind him trembled slightly. Some of the lightning fell on it and was slowly absorbed. The feeling of numbness disappeared instantly. Wang Xian was overjoyed. This was an opportunity. Die. His eyes emitted a terrifying murderous aura as he sped up. What? Seeing that the lightning had no effect on Wang Xian, the old man of the living spirit tribe was shocked and his expression changed completely. He immediately retreated in fear. But how could his speed compare to Wang Xian? The greyish death dragon claw grabbed the old man in an instant. Layers of powerful defensive barriers lit up on his body. Break. At such a close distance, Wang Xian's death dragon claw exploded with terrifying physical strength and the power of the 5 elements. Dragon eyes locking 8 desolations. At the same time, chains shot out from his eyes and pierced through the old man. Bam bam bam. The defensive sorcery equipment on his body crumbled rapidly. Who are you? What feud do I have with you? The living spirit tribe old man roared in fear. What feud? I'm the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. What feud do you have with me? You covet our Dragon Palace. Die. The chains of dragon eyes locking 8 desolations wrapped around his body. Wang Xian clawed hard with his death dragon claw and a destructive force rushed into the old man's body. Dragon Palace. His eyes widened. As a top-notch expert of the living spirit tribe, he naturally knew about the Dragon Palace. In fact, he was the one who initiated the operation of the living spirit tribe. As a sorcerer, he was confident that he could take a bite out of the Dragon Palace. In fact, he was pleasantly surprised by the information he received about the Dragon Palace. But he did not expect the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace to attack them now. How could it be possible with such a fast speed? Bam! A powerful force landed on him and drained his vitality. From the moment Wang Xian attacked to the moment it ended, only 10 seconds had passed. What's happening? Oh no, someone is causing trouble in our living spirit tribe. It's the Great Supreme Elder. Hurry, let's go over. The terrifying aura from the battle on Wang Xian's side swept across the entire planet. All the people on the planet sensed the terrifying aura coming from here, and they all had shocked expressions on their faces. The experts of the living spirit tribe had a slight change in their expressions as they flew over. Everything happened in a mere 10 seconds. Attack! Roving Demon and the rest, who had been lying in ambush, saw the living spirit tribe sorcerers flying over. Their eyes were filled with coldness. PFFF PFFF PFFF. In the next moment, they moved. RRR. The living spirit tribe's experts were unable to react in time and their bodies were pierced by the sharp claws. Under such circumstances, they were just sorcerers waiting to be slaughtered in front of the spiky dragon. Not good, there's an ambush. Horrified voices came from the living spirit tribe's experts who rushed over. Their expressions changed when they saw 8 of their experts being assassinated. Die, haha. And Lai laughed heartily. He locked onto those 5th-order God Emperor realm sorcerers and disappeared instantly. PFFF PFFF PFFF. In an instant, his dagger sliced through over 30 heads. Kill. Wang Xian rushed out and flapped his unbeginning sacred wings. He attacked the surrounding 7th-order God Emperor realm sorcerers at a terrifying speed. The massacre had begun. Who are you? How dare you attack our living spirit tribe? SSS. Not good, Our living spirit tribe's experts have been killed. Which tribe's expert is it? Around them, the people of the Living Souls clan looked over in shock. Chapter 30:16, Carving a Path of Blood and Deterrence 4-inch die. On one of the core planets of the Living Soul race, Wang Xian exuded a violent murderous aura as he charged towards the experts of the Living Soul race. With terrifying speed and overwhelming strength, Huang Xiaolong easily killed 4 7th Order God Emperor realm experts. Who are you? Why did you invade our Living Soul race? When the powerhouses of the Living Soul race who had rushed over saw this scene, they roared once again in horror. Those who offend my Dragon Palace will be killed no matter how far they are. Wang Xian bellowed as his terrifying murderous aura spread to the surroundings. Dragon Palace? When some of the people on the planet heard this, their faces were filled with astonishment. Run! The experts of the Living Soul race who were flying over could sense Wang Xian's strength. When they heard his words, their expressions changed and they roared immediately. Fut fut fut. However, the experts that rushed over were not very strong. Enlai's figure flickered and killed them all before anyone could react. As for the celestial emperors of the Living Soul race who were further away, they fled immediately and returned to their own holy kingdoms. Let's go. Wang Xian looked around and saw that the celestial emperors were either dead or running away. He instructed Tian Zhan and the rest. Tian Zhan, roving demon, and the rest flew to Wang Xian's side and flew into the void. This Dragon Palace? The Dragon Palace in the ruins of the Ink Han dynasty? Why did they suddenly attack us? Kill no matter how far they are. Did we offend the Dragon Palace? What happened to our first Supreme Elder? On the planet, countless experts from the Living Soul race were discussing in fear. Boom boom boom. Before long, a large number of experts from the Living Soul race were teleported over from the teleportation array. There were more than 100,000 experts and they exuded a terrifying aura. The few experts in the lead were all 8th Order God Emperor realm experts. The first Supreme Elder's spirit tablet has been destroyed. How did the Dragon Palace get here so quickly? The group looked towards the Living Soul race's first Supreme Elder's blessed grotto heaven and looked around with gloomy expressions. Not long after they arrived in the starry space, the Dragon Palace sent people over to kill them. Kill no matter how far they are. Was this a warning? Next place. At this moment, in the starry sky of the Living Soul race, Wang Xian looked at Enlai and said with a smile, "It's the Dragon King and the 1,000-armed tribe." Enlai nodded and instantly disappeared. 2 hours later, a great battle broke out on the 1,000 Hands continent of the 1,000 Hands tribe. Over 200 God Emperors from the 1,000 Hands tribe were killed, and 10 of them were 7th Order God Emperors. 4 hours later, on the main road of a rare race, a domain class race, over 700 God Emperor experts were killed. 8 hours later, over 800 God Emperors from the Brain race, a domain class race, on a planet were killed. As time passed, more and more races and domain-level races planets were attacked. At least 700 to 800 God Emperors were killed. On top of that, there were 7th Order God Emperor realm and 8th Order God Emperor realm experts that fell. In the beginning, the attacks of Wang Xian and the rest had only caused a stir in a small area. And when 4 powerful races were attacked consecutively, the matter became more and more sensational in the universe's AI. What's going on? Is the Dragon Palace courting death? In a short period of time, they have attacked 4 to 5 powerful forces. What's going on? Had the Dragon Palace in the starry sky gone mad? Are they attacking the various races? Are they digging their own graves? They have killed an 8th Order God Emperor realm expert from the Brain race, and even the current young patriarch of the Brain race was killed. The people from the Dragon Palace said that those who offend the Dragon Palace will be killed no matter how far away they are. Could it be that these races have invaded the Dragon Palace? That's crazy, directly assassinating the experts of various forces. Aren't they afraid that they will join forces to annihilate them? On the universe's AI, countless people saw this information and their faces were filled with shock. Not long ago, the 3-eyed race and 4-armed race announced their disbandment. They were completely annihilated. The Dragon Palace that had wiped out the 2 races could be considered to have risen in the starry sky. Especially when the three-eyed race and four-armed race released information about the Dragon Palace, it caused an uproar. Countless people were discussing on the AI. Various forces were also stirring in the dark. However, in just half a month, the experts of the Dragon Palace were killing experts of various races. What was going on? Had the Dragon Palace gone mad? However, the fact that the Dragon Palace could assassinate so many experts at such a terrifying speed was shocking to many people. In just a short 10 hours, the Dragon Palace killed 5 forces. Even if they were rushing, they wouldn't be able to make it in time. This Dragon Palace is not as simple as it seems. They were able to kill an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert without giving him a chance to escape. It seems like they have a 9th Order God Emperor Realm expert or a powerful treasure. This is going to be interesting. Will they still assassinate experts from other forces? On the AI, the group of domain-level races disciples were discussing among themselves. However, Wang Xian's attack had embarrassed the experts from the Brainling tribe, the rare ancient tribe, and the other forces. The Dragon Palace probably knows that our people have entered their domain. They are taking revenge on us one by one, threatening us one by one. At this time, on a large continent, a huge sculpture of the founder of the brain race stood in the center of the continent. It was 1,000,000 meters tall. Behind the sculpture, a group of experts from the brain race gathered in a large hall. Their faces were extremely gloomy. An 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert was killed. Even their patriarch's son, the outstanding young patriarch of the brain race, was killed. This was a complete provocation to the brain race. Revenge. Threat. They are courting death. How dare they kill our young patriarch? They are trying to start a war. An enraged expert from the brain race roared. Since they dared to assassinate so many forces and reported their names, they are not afraid of our revenge. Moreover, in the eyes of the Dragon Palace, we are their enemies. They are trying to use this kind of madness to threaten other races. An old man from the brain race sitting in the middle said faintly. His eyes flickered. Water flowed around his enormous brain. It looked a little strange, and there was even a hint of holiness. Threat. Do they really think the domain-level races are that easy to scare off? Unless they can display even greater strength. The patriarch of the brain race sitting beside the old man said with a cold expression. I'll go take a look and investigate the situation of the Dragon Palace. The brain race powerhouse who had spoken just now slowly stood up and said, Old patriarch, be careful, there is something strange about that Dragon Palace. The rest of the brain race experts immediately warned. Chapter 30:17, Carving a Bloody Path, Intimidating Enemies 5. Just as the experts from the brain race were discussing amongst themselves, experts from other races were also discussing with gloomy expressions. To the demonic wind race, life soul race, and thousand hands race, Wang Xian's deterrence was completely effective. As a race, the strongest expert among them was only an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert. Moreover, the Dragon Palace had the strength to kill an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert. To them, the Dragon Palace was no longer something they could deal with. If they angered the Dragon Palace and caused a massacre in their territory, it would be a devastating blow to them. Moreover, they were afraid that the experts from the Dragon Palace would come to assassinate them. Even though Wang Xian's actions had deterred the other races, some domain-level races did not give up. Especially those domain-level races with peak God Emperor Realm experts. The allure of a lesser divine dragon was worth the risk. Moreover, even though the Dragon Palace had assassinated a large number of God Emperor Realm experts, the strongest among them was only an 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert. This meant that the 8th Order God Emperor Realm was the Dragon Palace's limit. Even if the Dragon Palace had a 9th Order God Emperor Realm expert, they had nothing to fear. The Dragon Palace's assassination was a form of provocation to them. Other than a few domain-level races who had some reservations, the other domain-level races would continue to act. They had even sent out 9th Order God Emperor Realm experts and even peak God Emperor Realm experts. On this day, the domain-level races experts hovered in the sky, looking towards the starry sky with gleaming eyes. Dragon King, I'm afraid we won't be able to deter them this way. At this moment, within the Dragon Palace, Tianjin frowned as he looked at the information on the AI. If we can deter them, We should do so. At the very least, some of the other races will not dare to get involved in this mess. The other domain-level races should also be able to deter them from killing the innocent. If they dare to kill the innocent, they will have to consider our revenge. Moreover, our main dragon palace has already been moved here. They won't be able to do anything to us, Wang Xian said. Tianzhen nodded his head slightly. Dragon King, the Yaqi Devilshah and the others have sent a message. The old patriarch of the intelligent brain domain-level tribe is coming over personally. Moreover, several other domain-level tribes have also sent Ninth-Order God Emperor realm experts. There might even be a peak Emperor God expert from the Skyfire race. At this time, Prime Minister Turtle reported to Wang Xian after receiving the message from Yamata Demonshah and the rest. Unlai, bring some venom-horned dragons with you to scout out the territory of these domain-level tribes. The moment they do anything overboard, we'll hunt down their clansmen, their second and third order God Emperor realm experts, and their elite disciples. I'd like to see if they dare to fight with our dragon palace. Other than that, Heavenly Formation Roving Demon, increase your strength first. That way, it'll be easier to hunt them. The corner of Wang Xian's mouth arched slightly as he spoke with a chilling tone. This time, he had killed 3 8th Order God Emperor realm experts and 16 7th Order God Emperor realm experts. These resources were sufficient for Roving Demon, Yamata no Orokai, and the others to possess the battle strength of an 8th Order God Emperor realm expert. At that time, with an existence like Unlai who could ignore formations and teleport, it would definitely be a disaster for the disciples of the domain-level races. Yes, Dragon King. Unlai nodded and immediately led a few dozen venom-horned dragon elites away. Next, if any forces dared to act presumptuously in the Dragon Palace's territory, the Dragon Palace would slaughter their disciples and experts. Days passed, and news came from the venom-horned dragons. Some experts had arrived at the resplendent starry sky. The Dragon Palace did not make any moves. Instead, it was waiting. Perhaps due to the deterrence this time, no one dared to kill the innocent in the Dragon Palace's territory. One by one, the experts flew in the direction of the Imperial Star Domain. They had more or less gotten the information they needed. Now, they only needed to head to the Dragon Palace's territory to take a look. Looks like there are quite a lot of people here. Half a month later, on the Dragon Island above the Imperial Star Domain, the old patriarch of the brain race scanned the surroundings with glistening eyes. He looked at the majestic palace below, and with a move of his body, he flew down directly. That should be the ocean where the Dragon Palace is located. There's a palace in there, but it's not big. The body of the old chief of the brain race moved, and he flew straight down towards the ground. Swish, swish, swish. In the surroundings, some figures also immediately flew over. There's no movement inside. It seems that the people of the Dragon Palace have escaped. An old man with a pangolin-like body and a human head said faintly as he stared at the place below. Chumph, they killed hundreds of experts from our rare race. I'd like to see how powerful the Dragon Palace is. A cold voice was heard as a top expert from the rare race dived into the ocean below. The experts from the surrounding forces also moved and flew down immediately. Welcome to the Dragon Palace. The Dragon Palace does not wish to be enemies with anyone. Please don't make things difficult for us. Just as the group of 7 experts arrived at the front of the Dragon Palace, a civil servant of the Dragon Palace walked out from the east gate of the Dragon Palace. He bowed to them and said, "Call the leader of the Dragon Palace here." The expert from the rare race narrowed his eyes and ordered coldly when he saw the civil servant of the Dragon Palace carrying a turtle shell on his back. "Hey, everyone, our Dragon King is not here. I'm the only one here." The civil servant of the Dragon Palace smiled gently and said, Your Dragon Palace has guts to kill people from my rare race." The expert from the rare race was stunned. A terrifying pressure pressed down on the civil servant of the Dragon Palace. "Our Dragon Palace does not offend anyone. No one can offend our Dragon Palace. You have to pay the price for killing people in our Dragon Palace's territory. We set the rules in our territory." The civil servant of the Dragon Palace turned pale and continued in a neither servile nor overbearing manner. Is that so? Does your dragon palace know that you have to pay the price for assassinating us from the brain race? The old patriarch of the brain race said indifferently. Revenge breeds revenge. When will there be an end to it? Our dragon palace has no intention to be enemies with any forces. The civil servant of the dragon palace replied indifferently. You're not qualified to talk to us. Ask your leader to come out. On the right side, a Ninth Order God Emperor realm old man spoke coldly. Our Dragon King will meet with you when there's a chance. The civil servant of the Dragon Palace said again. We're all here. Is your Dragon King not going to meet us? The expert from the rare race asked coldly. Killing intent flashed in his eyes. Chapter 30:18, Carving a bloody path and deterring the heroes 6-inch here, you've come with ill intentions. Our Dragon King will not meet you. The civil servant of Dragon Palace glanced at the 7 of them. The 7 of them represented 7 forces. Behind each of them was a domain-level race. It could be said that half of the domain-level races surrounding the Inkhan clan were here. The 7 of them squinted their eyes at the words of the civil servant of Dragon Palace. I heard that there are divine dragons and sub-dragons in Dragon Palace. Can we take a look? An old man in full armor said coldly. Whether or not our Dragon Palace has a divine dragon or a lesser dragon, it has nothing to do with you guys. If you want to be the enemy of Dragon Palace or covet our Dragon Palace, then Dragon Palace can only fight back. The civil servant of Dragon Palace replied. Ha ha ha, you want to make an enemy of us? The expert from the rare ancient clan said disdainfully. Of course not. But if anyone dares to kill innocent people in Dragon Palace's territory, we can only take revenge in our own way. The civil official of Dragon Palace cupped his hands in obeisance to the 7 experts and entered the Dragon Palace in a flash. Take revenge in your own way. But do you know the price you have to pay for killing the experts from the Brain Spirit clan? The old clan leader of the Brain Spirit clan said faintly. He moved and dashed towards the Dragon Palace below. A wave of horrifying pressure rushed towards the Dragon Palace. The Dragon Palace below even trembled because of it. Huh! The old clan leader of the Brain Spirit clan frowned slightly as he felt the strength of the Dragon Palace. The other 6 experts also raised their eyebrows. The Dragon Palace has shifted its position. There's no one here and the buildings below are weak. The old man who looked like a pangolin said with flickering eyes. The old clan leader of the Brain Spirit clan snorted coldly. He waved his arm and a terrifying attack swept towards the Dragon Palace below. Boom! The low-level Dragon Palace couldn't withstand the terrifying attack and collapsed directly. Everyone, from today onwards, our Dragon Palace does not welcome you. Please leave our domain immediately, otherwise we will also visit your domain. Just at this moment, Unlai appeared in the nearby sea and warned with a smile. A threat. I hate threats the most. The expert from the rare ancient race had a murderous look in his eyes. With a wave of his arm, a confinement circle flew towards Unlai. The speed of the confinement circle was terrifying. At such a short distance, even an 8th Order God Emperor realm expert might not be able to dodge it. Buzz. However, Unlai's figure disappeared in an instant. What? The ancient race expert's face changed slightly when he saw Unlai vanish in an instant. The other 6 experts also frowned slightly, and their eyes flickered. Check the surroundings. However, they did not give up. One by one, they took out their treasures and sorcerer tools to search for information about the Dragon Palace. Dragon King, there are 7 domain-level races. The experts from the rare ancient race and the brainling race have made their move. I suggest we start with these 2 races. At the same time, in the main Dragon Palace of the Mohan clan ruins, Unlai returned and said. All right, Unlai, Tianzhen, roving demon, 8-limbed snakes, let's go. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes and said immediately. Yes, Dragon King. The few who were already prepared nodded their heads. In this half a month, roving demon, Tianzhen, 8-limbed snakes, and the others had broken through to the 8th Order God Emperor realm. With such strength, led by Unlai, and with the help of the venom-horned dragon, they could turn a powerful domain-level race upside down. Buzz. In the next moment, their figures appeared in the void. Dragon King, this is the detailed information about this planet, the locations of the Brainling race's expert. At the side, 8-limbed snakes looked at the AI and revealed a smile. Half a month ago, a group of venom-horned dragons had parasitized several Brainling race experts. It was not an exaggeration to say that the Dragon Palace controlled 70% of the Brainling race's information. This included the locations of some experts on this planet. This planet was one of the planets controlled by the Brainling race, and it was different from the mainland they had attacked previously. This planet was also one of the more important planets of the Brainling race, and there was an 8th-order God Emperor realm expert guarding it. This expert was not on the surface of the planet, but was cultivating in the planet's core. This information was obtained by the venom-horned dragon from the memories of this expert's descendant. The entrance is here. As the cultivation ground of the Brainling race's experts, there should be an array formation or other security measures. Enlai, go and check it out. 8-limbed snakes said to Enlai. Bring this shaman artifact with you. You can find out some information. Tianjun handed over a shaman artifact and said, Leave it to me. Enlai nodded his head and disappeared in an instant. Teleportation could ignore arrays and size. Enlai could even teleport to the interior of a planet. The prerequisite was that he could withstand the pressure of the planet. Otherwise, he might die instantly. With his current strength, he could still withstand the pressure of the planet below him. Tianjun, here you go. This is the information I've collected. 5 seconds later, Enlai returned and handed the shaman artifact to Tianjun with a smile. Tianjun took a look at the shaman artifact and revealed a faint smile. Dragon King, we can get Enlai to bring us here directly. At such a close distance, we can kill our way to the center in an instant. Tianjun pointed to an illusory sphere on the shaman artifact and said, All right, let's do it. Wang Xian looked over and nodded his head immediately. The core of this planet was a cultivation paradise. There was a large amount of earth heart flame inside. Fire attribute experts could achieve twice the results with half the effort when cultivating here. On the surface of this planet, there were a few warning arrays, but Enlai could take them directly through them. With a wave of his arm, they appeared in the interior of the planet instantly. Here, Enlai opened up a space of 10 cubic meters. Dragon Eye. Wang Xian looked down and saw an expert from the Brainling race with a huge head cultivating inside. Do it. He squinted his eyes and signaled to Tianjun, roving demon, and 8-limbed snakes. Wang. In the next instant, the soil beneath them split apart and led straight to where the expert from the Brainling race was cultivating. What? The expert from the Brainling race, who was cultivating, sensed the commotion above him. His expression changed slightly as he lifted his head immediately. Dragon Eye Lock. Instant kill. Horrifying roar. Octagonal sword. At this moment, Wang Xian and the rest launched their strongest attack. Death was upon them. Chapter 3019, Carving a Path of Blood and Deterrence 7 Rumble Rumble Rumble. The terrifying attack smashed downwards, causing rumbling sounds to ring out from the interior of the star. The 8th-order God Emperor realm expert from the Brain Tribe was crushed before he could even put up a fight. There wasn't a single scream. There was no resistance. He was directly suppressed by the powerful force. Wang Xian revealed a faint smile when he saw this scene. Great. He waved his arm and kept the corpse. Dragon King, look over there. At this time, Tianjun and the rest exclaimed in surprise. Huh! Wang Xian looked over and his eyes lit up. This space was a blessed land. The entire planet's core was hollow within a radius of 100 kilometers. There was a purple earth core flame rising from it. Within the earth core flame, there was a purple flame flower growing. Densely packed flame flowers occupied most of the space. Purple swallow flower, 8th order God Emperor realm purple swallow flower. There are many more that have matured. Looking at these divine flowers, Wang Xian was shocked. As expected of a domain-level race. There are so many resources on a single planet. Orokai clicked his tongue and exclaimed. The Brain Tribe has a foundation of billions of years. It's no surprise that they have some precious divine flowers. What a pleasant surprise. Tianjun swept his gaze across and revealed a smile. Keep them and let's go. Wang Xian was also beaming as he spoke to them. Dragon Palace, are these resources enough for you to improve? Orokai and the rest kept all the divine flowers and asked Wang Xian. Probably not. Wang Xian shook his head. We have hunted many experts and obtained many treasures from their spatial rings. If we hunt some more experts, it should be enough for you to improve, Dragon King. Orokai estimated. That's possible. Wang Xian nodded his head slightly. I'll get my men to check on the situation of the Brain Tribe and Rare Ancient Tribe's herb gardens and resources. Orochi's eyes flickered and he immediately sent out a few messages. Let's go. Let's get rid of the Brain Tribe experts on this planet first. Wang Xian said as he looked at Enlai. Yes, Dragon King. Enlai nodded and immediately disappeared. This planet was one of the more important planets of the Brainiac race. There were more than 1,400 God Emperors on it. After the 8th Order God Emperor Realm Expert was assassinated, the next step was much simpler. With the combat power of 4 8th Order God Emperor Realm Experts and the help of the Venom-Horned Dragon, killing them was a walk in the park. In 20 minutes, all the Brain Race God Emperors on the planet had been killed. Done, let's go to the Rare Ancient Tribe. After 20 minutes, Orokai said excitedly. Go. Enlai and the others nodded and teleported away. Soon, they arrived at an empty place. There were no continents or planets, only a mountain peak standing in the void. An incomparably huge mountain peak. This was the domain of the Rare Ancient Race. Good news, Dragon King. Just now, I asked Devil Fiend and the others to look for some resources related to the Rare Ancient Tribe. They really found a place. When they came to the void in front of the mountain peak, Orokai looked at the information on the Universe AI and said, Oh. Wang Xian raised an eyebrow, and his eyes flickered. However, there are 4 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts guarding there. We need to come up with a plan, Orokai said. 4 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts? Wang Xian raised an eyebrow slightly. It shouldn't be a big problem. Orokai, mark all the information about the Rare Ancient Tribe on this mountain peak. Devil Fiend is currently residing with a 7th Order God Emperor Realm expert. He should know about the transmission array on this mountain peak. Under normal circumstances, there will be a public transmission array and a secret transmission array. We will first destroy these 2 transmission arrays, then we can launch our attack. Tianjin said. Alright, Devil Fiend should know about this. Also, Tianjin, you better set up a concealment array to conceal this mountain peak. Wang Xian said. Alright, Dragon King, we can first assassinate the Rare Ancient Tribe experts outside, then deal with the 4 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts. With our strength, we should be able to kill them. Tianjin nodded. Alright, then the few of them immediately started to come up with a plan. Very quickly, a detailed plan was completed. With the 7th Order God Emperor Realm expert that Devil Fiend was residing in as a spy, the operation was very simple. After silently killing the God Emperor Realm experts, they cut off the transmission array and flew towards the peak of the mountain peak. At the peak of the mountain peak was a medicinal refinement ground of the Rare Ancient Tribe. Using the peak spring, coupled with a special and powerful flame, to refine the pill. The Rare Ancient Tribe specialized in medicinal refinement, and this was one of their medicinal refinement grounds. As a medicinal refinement ground, there were naturally large amounts of medicinal pills and divine herbs. Tianjin set up the formation. As they neared the peak, Wang Xian immediately ordered Tianjin. Tianjin nodded and immediately started setting up the formation. Boom! Tianjin's formation caused the heavens and earth to tremble. A God Emperor flew out and scanned the surroundings. Su. PFFF. However, the instant the 8th Order God Emperor Realm expert flew out, the Yamata no Orokai turned into a black stream and entered his body. That 8th Order God Emperor's expression changed drastically, and he immediately tried to defend himself. However, sharp claws pierced into his body from behind, causing his body to stiffen. Everything happened in the blink of an eye. Su. The Yamata no Orokai immediately latched onto the body of the rare race expert and fought for control of his body. Soon, a black light flashed in his eyes. Old Bai, what's going on? At this time, an old man flew over from the peak and shouted at him. "There's a commotion below. I'll go check it out." Orokai immediately covered the spot where roving demon had pierced through, smeared a large amount of vitality liquid on it, and flew downwards. The old man on the mountain peak furrowed his brows and swept his gaze around. Boom. Not good, someone's attacking. At this time, Orochi's parasitized body flew back towards the peak, and he immediately screamed. "Old Bai!" The old man on the peak turned pale, and his eyes narrowed when he saw the large amount of blood on Old Bai's body. He stretched out his arm and took Orochi's body. PFFF. At this time, Orokai tore apart the parasitized body, and an incomparably sharp black claw pierced through the old man from the rare ancient tribe. Cough cough. How is this possible? The ancient race cultivator's eyes widened in shock. Buzz. At this time, Tianjin's formation enveloped the peak of the mountain. Boom boom boom. Wang Xian and the rest flew over with 2 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts. Chapter 30-20. Slaughter a Path of Blood, or the Hero's 8-inch. Damn it, what's going on? Old White, medicinal wine. The terrifying fluctuations of the formation and the terrified screams immediately attracted the attention of everyone on the peak of the rare ancient race's giant peak. There were over 5,000 people on the mountain peak, and all of them were alchemists from the rare ancient race. There were quite a few God Emperor Realm alchemists. When they felt the changes outside, their expressions changed. 2 of the 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts' expressions changed. They quickly condensed a powerful defensive barrier around their bodies and flew out. 8 desolate dragon eyes. Just as they rushed out, an incomparably terrifying attack came towards them. Not good, everyone get ready, we're under attack. When the 2 brain spirit race experts sensed this power, their expressions changed drastically and they immediately roared out. What? We're at the peak, and there are powerful restrictions around us. There are also a large number of subordinates guarding the bottom of the mountain. Why are we suddenly attacked? Everyone in the refinement room was shocked when they saw this. Rumble. At this moment, the terrifying chains that filled the sky covered the entire peak. Attack. The expressions of the 2 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts changed. Their heads turned azure blue in an instant, and their hair whipped towards the chains in the air. Bang, bang, bang. Terrifying sounds of collisions rang out. The brain race had huge heads, and they were natural water attribute cultivators. Their hair was their weapon of attack. Jie, 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 die. At this time, the 8 limitless gods and the sky formation appeared on their left and right. The 8 limitless gods moved, and his entire body turned into a black liquid as he charged towards them. The sky formation waved his arm, and powerful formations appeared in the air. Damn it, there's an 8th Order God Emperor Realm shaman. Looking at the strange body of the sky formation, and sensing the changes in the world, their expressions changed. The shaman lineage was an extremely powerful existence in the center of the universe. Many people were unwilling to provoke a shaman. That was because they were powerful and strange. Witchcraft arrays could seal an area of space. Once sealed, there was no way to escape. Who are you? Why are you attacking my brain race? One of the 8th Order God Emperor Realm experts questioned with a gloomy expression. This is the price you have to pay for invading our dragon palace. Wang Xian flapped his unparalleled sacred wings and attacked them at a terrifying speed. Dragon palace. Hearing these 2 words, the hearts of everyone from the brain spirit tribe sank. Not long ago, the dragon palace had assassinated a large number of their brain spirit clan's experts. They didn't expect that they would do it again. Everyone, destroy all the pills and divine herbs. Even if we die, we can't let them get them. One of the brain spirit race's experts revealed a ruthless expression as he roared. Yes. Destroy, destroy everything. The alchemists of the brain spirit clan revealed a look of horror, and they roared in panic. Pu. But at this time, Dark Ardent's figure appeared. His sharp dagger was smeared with potent poison as it cut through the heads of the brain spirit race experts. Not good, someone has entered. Horrified cries rang out in the surroundings, and the entire peak instantly fell into chaos. Boom. In front of him, Wang Xian's arm turned into a dragon claw and slammed heavily towards an expert from the Brain Spirit clan. When the expert from the Brain Spirit clan saw Wang Xian's speed, his expression changed drastically. Law of superpower, 3000 water manipulation, he roared. Ripples formed in front of him, and fish scales appeared on the ripples, forming an indestructible defense. Fart. However, just as his defense was formed, an incomparably sharp claw pierced through his head from behind. Those that the Dragon Palace wants to assassinate won't be able to escape. Roving Demon's voice rang in his mind. His eyes widened in horror. His vitality was rapidly being eroded by the power of light and darkness. Big brother. A horrified voice rang out from the side. Here. Yamata no Orochi's cold laughter rang out. With a wave of his arm, his liquid-like body elongated and attacked that expert. That expert from the Brain Spirit clan immediately defended himself. Swish swish. However, the attack from the heavenly formation had arrived at the same time. This caused his eyes to turn bloodshot. Boom boom. Wang Xian increased his speed and attacked him as well. No, the Brain Spirit clan will never let you off. That 8th Order God Emperor realm expert roared in anger. In the next moment, he was drowned by the powerful attacks. Against the encirclement of Wang Xian and the other three, he couldn't even last 5 seconds. No, 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 Elder. The group of alchemists at the back shouted in horror. Die. Yamata no Orochi and Roving Demon did not hesitate and attacked the rest of the alchemists. What followed next was a one-sided massacre. Ha ha ha, Dragon King, we're rich. There are so many elixir pills inside. At this time, Enlai's excited roar came from the inner space of the mountain peak. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the experts from the Brain Spirit clan who were waiting to be slaughtered. With a swift move, he flew inside. The words elixir storage room were written on the stone room inside the mountain peak. Inside, bottles of elixir pills could be seen. Every jade bottle contained a large number of elixir pills. This is. Wang Xian squinted his eyes. Sure enough, killing was spared. Hehe, Dragon King, this is the elixir storage room of the Brain Spirit clan. The Brain Spirit clan specializes in refining elixir pills in this part of the void. They sell their elixir pills to dozens of clans and races. Even if this isn't the core elixir storage room, there are still quite a number of elixir pills stored here. Yamata no Orochi walked in and said with glowing eyes. Let's go. Wang Xian was also a little excited. There were a lot of elixir pills inside, almost a few million of them. Even if many of them weren't of a high level, with the resources he had obtained recently, it was enough for him to break through. After breaking through, he would possess the combat strength of a 9th Order God Emperor. Given his 9th Order God Emperor combat strength, he could kill those of the same level. In that case, in this part of the void, only the few powerful domain-level races were stronger than the Dragon Palace. Sky Array, record the situation here and send it to the universe's AI in the name of the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian kept all the elixir pills and instructed the Sky Array. Yes, Dragon King. I've recorded everything. The Sky Array nodded. Done. Let's return to the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian said. They nodded, and their figures slowly disappeared. Using the two major races as an example to deter the other races. It wouldn't be long before the universe's AI was in an uproar. At that time, those domain-level races experts would probably behave themselves. Chapter 3021, or in all quarters what the fuck, is the information posted by Dragon Palace on the universe AI real? Hiss. Look at those corpses. They're all experts from the Brain Spirit race and the Rare Ancient race. I recognize one of them, it's an elder from the Rare Ancient race. It's true. Look at the news from the Rare Ancient tribe and the Brain tribe. It's all over the place. Everyone is panicking. I didn't expect it to be the Dragon Palace. The Dragon Palace has been assassinating domain-level clans recently. Why? They said that those who invade the Dragon Palace will be killed no matter how far they are. What did the two domain-level races do? Crazy they actually assassinated over 1,000 God Emperor realm experts from two domain-level races. Moreover, there were even 8th Order God Emperor realm experts among them. Is the Dragon Palace trying to establish their might? This Dragon Palace is so scary. Are they professional assassins? He actually killed a planet's Emperor God expert without a sound. That's too terrifying. Not long after Wang Xian and the rest returned to the Dragon Palace, a piece of news shook the entire star region on the universe AI. The message was released by the Dragon Palace. It directly stated that anyone who violated the rules of the Dragon Palace in the Dragon Palace's territory would be punished by the Dragon Palace, no matter what force they were from. At the bottom, there were pictures that made one's scalp tingle. They were the corpses of experts from the rare ancient race and brain race. An 8th Order God Emperor's corpse. An 8th Order God Emperor realm expert. Many clans did not have such a powerful expert, yet he was easily assassinated by the Dragon Palace. The announcement immediately caused a huge uproar. It wasn't just the assassination of an 8th Order God Emperor realm expert, but the Dragon Palace's blatant provocation towards the Brain Tribe and the rare ancient tribes. This was clearly a warning to the two domain-level races. Perhaps, it was a warning to other powerful races. On the Universe AI, countless people were discussing. The news very quickly spread to all the domain-level races near the Mohan family. Damn the Dragon Palace. They killed the 13th Elder and the others again. This is a complete provocation to us. At this moment, the experts of the Brain Spirit clan were incomparably furious. First, the young patriarch was assassinated. They were already on guard, but the 13th Elder was still assassinated. The 13th Elder was at the core of the Violet Flame planet. That place was extremely secretive, and only the clansmen with relatively high status in the clan knew about it. How did the Dragon Palace know? That Dragon Palace should have extremely powerful sorcerer artifacts and a group of experts who are good at assassination. The Brain Sprite Patriarch, who was sitting in the middle, had an incomparably gloomy expression on his face. Even when his son was killed, he was not so embarrassed. What did it mean for the Dragon Palace to be able to assassinate their tribe's experts again and again? This meant that the other party had powerful assassination methods. This kind of method was not something that the brain race could resist. If the other party kept on assassinating them, as he thought of this, the Brain Sprite Patriarch frowned and his complexion fluctuated. Assassin. For them to be able to assassinate the clansmen of our God Emperor's members so strangely and quickly, could it be that they have mastered a powerful witchcraft and are making use of our clansman's bloodline? A Brain Spirit race expert said with slight trepidation. No matter what, this Dragon Palace is very troublesome and hard to deal with. They didn't continue assassinating us and instead announced it on the universe artificial intelligence because they want to intimidate us. They might be afraid that we will fight to the death. But I have to say, this deterrence worked. The Brain Sprite Patriarch said in a deep voice. Patriarch, are we just going to let it go like this? We didn't get the Divine Dragon or the Lesser Dragon, and now so many of our clansmen were killed by Dragon Palace. One of the elders said unwillingly. Before we find the lair of Dragon Palace and have the confidence to destroy Dragon Palace, let alone our Brain Sprite race, I'm afraid that even those big domain-level races will not dare to offend Dragon Palace. The Brain Sprite Patriarch said with a sullen face. The group of Brain Sprite race experts frowned and did not speak. Let me inform the old Patriarch. The Brain Sprite Patriarch said helplessly. At this moment, not only the Brain Sprite race, but the experts of the rare ancient races also looked gloomy and embarrassed when they saw the message from Dragon Palace. Even if Dragon Palace announced it, they did not dare to take revenge. Deterrence, a powerful deterrence. They did not dare to take revenge rashly, otherwise, it would be a disaster for the rare ancient races. Before they had a way to deal with the assassination by Dragon Palace, they could not take any extreme revenge. The other domain-level races also received the news immediately. After the various domain-level race powerhouses discussed, they also immediately sent out a message. Heh! Soon, in the domain in the resplendent starry sky, the experts received the message from their races, and their faces changed slightly. What a powerful assassination technique! How did they do it? Witchcraft? Or something else? The Ninth Order God Emperor Realm and Peak God Emperor Realm experts muttered as they read the message. It seems like before we find the lair of Dragon Palace and have no way to deal with the assassin, it's best to keep a low profile. It's best not to anger Dragon Palace, or the gains will not make up for the losses. The experts from various races murmured. They had already made up their minds. He, Dragon King, the rare ancient race and the brain sprite race didn't even dare to fart after we posted the message on the AI. It seems like they are really afraid. In the Dragon King Hall of the Dragon Palace, the leaders of the Orokai race and the brain sprite race laughed as they read the message on the AI. Before they find our base, they should not dare to offend us again, Wang Xian said. This time, the deterrence from Dragon Palace was completely effective. The venom-horned dragon and the spike dragon were top-notch dragon species during the peak of the divine dragon race. In addition, they had a mutated existence like Enlai. With the three of them working together, the assassination was almost unstoppable. Even if they were to face a powerful primary race in the universe, they could still succeed. Our Dragon Palace should be in peace for a period of time. Let's improve our strength and recuperate, Wang Xian said to them in a good mood. Yes, Dragon King. The leaders of the Dragon Palace nodded their heads. They had gained a lot from this assassination. There were 5 8th Order God Emperor Realm corpses and more than 27th Order God Emperor Realm corpses. In addition, Wang Xian had a large number of elixir pills and divine flowers. These resources were sufficient for him to achieve a breakthrough in his strength. After I improve, I want to make sure that the Dragon Palace has a firm foothold in this universe. Wang Xian frowned as he thought of the current situation of the divine dragon race in the center of the universe. Forget it, let's improve first. He took out elixir pills and swallowed them immediately. Chapter 3022, Red Mist Race's name, Wang Xian Race, Yin-Yang 5 Elements Dragon, one with the Dragon, rank, 3rd Order Void God Emperor, Divine Dragon Transformation 8th Transformation, Origin Source, 2239605000000000000 Magic. Dominate the aquatic creatures, dominate any aquatic creatures lower than your own level, devour living things to extract the source. Control of the 5 elements cultivation technique, Divine Dragon Transformation Divine Powers, Soul Capture, Spirit. Attachment Nomological Divine Abilities, Dragon Eye Lock, 5 Elements Dragon Claw, Yin-Yang World Breaker Dharma Form, 5 Elements Grindstone, Dragon Country in the Palm, Dragon Head Descending, 10,000-mile Dragon Body, Yin-Yang Polarity, Yin-Yang 5 Elemental Bowl, Divine Dragon Tail Whip. Law of Mastery, Metal, Wood, Water, Fire, Earth, Light, Dark Wind Divine Kingdom, Dragon Palace Owned Dragon Palace, Level 9 Dragon Palace Members, 10344450 Who. In the Dragon King Hall of the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian took a look at his attributes. The 5 elements grindstone and the yin-yang dragon board were placed in front of him. He took a deep breath. It had been a month since the last breakthrough. During this month, the resplendent starry sky had completely stabilized. No more experts wreaking havoc in the starry sky. The deterrence of the Dragon Palace was completely effective. Over the past month, Wang Xian had upgraded the 5 elements grindstone and yin-yang dragon board with some treasures. However, his strength was rising too quickly. The yin-yang dragon coil and the 5 elements grindstone couldn't keep up with his speed. However, in this breakthrough, Wang Xian had obtained a powerful and practical nomological supernatural power. Yin-Yang World Breaker. Yin-Yang World Destruction, 1 yin and 1 yang. The 2 dragon horns gave off a wave of yin and yang energy that disturbed space. This yin-yang world breaker could break through all illusions. He had broken the illusory array, the trap array, and the void shackles. In other words, the sky ceiling formation set up by the sky formation had no effect on him. Secondly, there was another very powerful point. The yin-yang rupture world could open up an independent space around the user. Once he entered this space, he would be able to avoid some attacks and instantly escape back to his divine kingdom. Wang Xian did some calculations. Even a peak God Emperor sorcerer might not be able to trap him now. Of course, if the enemy possessed a restraining type artificial spirit treasure, then he could be trapped as well. But the probability of that happening was very small. Even universe supremacies might not have postnatal treasures. While Wang Xian was enhancing his cultivation, The rest of the members of the Dragon Palace were doing the same. Digesting the obtained resources. More than 10,000 members of which dragon were cultivating on the cultivation continent of the Mohan Sha ruins. He practiced his attacks on the postnatal spiritual treasure, the divination chessboard. After annihilating the three-eyed tribe and four-armed tribe as well as killing thousands of Emperor God experts, the number of Emperor God experts in the Dragon Palace had reached 50,000. This number was definitely comparable to an ordinary domain-level race. Among them, the Witch Dragon species and the Venom-Horned Dragon species had both reached the Emperor God realm. The Spike Dragon species had 20,000 Emperor God experts. This was also a consideration for the situation they were about to face. The combination of the Venom-Horned Dragon and the Spike Dragon could play a huge role in a war between races. As for the advancement of the Dragon Witch, it was because they had obtained a large number of cultivation books about the races of the Ink Han clan. All of them were about the cultivation techniques of the sorcerers. In addition, with the postnatal spiritual treasure, the divination chessboard, the tens of thousands of dragon shamans on the divination chessboard could allow their strength to surpass another level. In other words, if they had 10,000 First-Order God Emperor Realm experts, with the support of acquired spiritual treasures, they could reach the Second-Order God Emperor Realm. Tens of thousands of Dragon Palace members had their strength increased by one level. The entire Dragon Palace was improving rapidly and settling down. Wang Xian and the rest did not dare to continue to assassinate the experts of other races. Firstly, they were worried that the other party would seek revenge and kill the humans in the resplendent starry sky. Secondly, as long as the other party did not provoke them, the Dragon Palace would not assassinate them for no reason. The Dragon Palace had always had its own principles for improving their strength. Killing the innocent might lead to the Dragon Palace being besieged and destroyed at this stage. Just as the Dragon Palace members were settling down and cultivating, on a planet in the center of the Ink Han clan ruins. This planet was located beside the heaven-reaching tower. It was also one of the planets belonging to the Ink Han clan ruins. Today, this planet had become one of the planets belonging to the Red Mist race. The Red Mist race was currently a new domain-level race that was relatively popular in the entire universe. The founder of the race was the famous Emperor God Hong Tian around the Ink Han clan ruins. A peak God Emperor sorcerer. A few months ago, Emperor God Hong Tian had already announced the establishment of a domain-level race and had invited all the races to come. The day of the Red Mist race's establishment ceremony was getting closer. On this planet that belonged to the Red Mist race, a group of people flew over. One side had 3 eyes, while the other side had 4 arms. The leader was a 7th-order God Emperor. There were thousands of people from both sides, all of whom were Emperor Gods. They were the remaining experts from the 3-eyed race and 4-armed race. The two forces exchanged glances. Their faces were filled with hatred, unwillingness, and determination. Everyone from the 3-eyed race and 4-armed race, please come in. Our big senior brother is waiting for you inside. An expert from the Red Mist race flew over, swept his gaze across them, and revealed a smile on his face. Thank you. The leader of the 3-eyed race and the experts from the 4-armed race nodded their heads and followed the expert from the Red Mist race inside. Haha, welcome, everyone. Welcome to our Red Mist race. When the group of people entered a large hall, an old man greeted them with a smile on his face. Greetings, Elder Hong Men. The group looked at the old man and greeted him respectfully. Everyone, don't stand on ceremony. We'll be a family in the future. Please take a seat. Elder Hong Men smiled and gestured to them. Elder Hong Men, our 2 races are willing to join the Red Mist race. May I know the conditions? The leader of the 3-eyed race asked. When the 2 races were annihilated, they thought of ways to take revenge. They publicized and exaggerated information about the Dragon Palace, inciting other powerful races to attack the Dragon Palace. But a month ago, after the Dragon Palace intimidated all the races, the 2 races were in despair. They were in despair because the Dragon Palace did not suffer any retaliation. They were in despair because the Dragon Palace was too powerful. Under such circumstances, they made a decision to join the Red Mist race. They proposed a condition, which was that the Red Mist race would help them destroy the Dragon Palace. In their opinion, it would be difficult for the Red Mist race to agree to this condition. They had already thought of other conditions. But what they did not expect was that the Red Mist race actually agreed. They agreed to help them take revenge and deal with the Dragon Palace. This surprised them slightly. Without much hesitation, they chose to join the Red Mist race. First, it was for revenge. Second, it was to have a powerful race to rely on. God Emperor Hong Tian's strength was definitely among the top experts in this region. Chapter 3023, Invitation Letter for Clan Establishment. Everyone from the three-eyed and four-armed races, we will give you a safe planet. Everyone, follow me. On top of that, we will announce and execute the condition that we agreed to when we establish our clan, the Great Elder of Hong Men said with a smile. He waved his arm and a teleportation formation appeared in the middle of the hall. The Emperor gods of the Tri-Eyed Tribe and Four-Armed Tribe were shocked when they saw the teleportation formation in the middle. Everyone, follow me. Join the Red Mist Tribe and we will give you a safe place to stay, the Great Elder of Hong Men said before he sat down in the teleportation formation. The leader of the Tri-Eyed Tribe and the rest hesitated for a while before they followed closely behind. Given the Great Elder's strength, there was no need for him to lie to them. Moreover, the Red Mist Tribe needed a large number of talents and resources to establish themselves. Although the Tri-Eyed Tribe and the Four-Armed Tribe had disbanded, there were still some elite disciples and core disciples. The ruins of the Mohan clan, one of the 9,999 planets. On a planet that had yet to be cracked, the Hong Men Elder of the Red Mist race led all the members of the Three-Eyed race and the Four-Armed race through the teleportation array. This is. The experts of the Tri-Eyed Tribe and the Four-Armed Tribe were shocked when they saw the planet. This is one of the 9,999 planets in the Ink Han Tribe ruins. It is a planet that no one has cracked and entered yet. The Great Elder of Hong Men lifted his head slightly and said proudly. Countless experts had tried to crack the formation to enter the Ink Han Tribe ruins. There were even universe supremacies who came. They had no choice but to return. On the other hand, their master had deciphered numerous spirit formations and obtained several hundred stars. Only the Red Mist Tribe could enter those planets. A planet that no one has entered yet. Could this be the planet that Emperor God Hong Tian obtained after cracking the formation? The experts of the Tri-Eyed Tribe and the Four-Armed Tribe asked in shock. One of them is that this planet can be used for the Tri-Eyed Tribe to stay in the future. As for the Four-Armed Tribe, we will also provide a planet, the Great Elder of Hong Men said with a smile. This Great Elder of Hong Men, how many planets has Emperor God Hong Tian cracked in the Ink Han Tribe ruins? The Patriarch of the Three-Eyed Tribe could not help but ask. If you are loyal to the Red Mist, you will naturally find out soon enough. Alright, you can bring your clansmen over. Someone will make arrangements for you later. After the Great Elder of Hong Men finished speaking, he stepped into the teleportation array and left. The experts of the Three-Eyed Tribe and the Four-Armed Tribe exchanged glances as they watched him leave. Maybe joining the Red Mist race now is our best choice, an expert of the Four-Arms Tribe said. The Red Mist race has just been established and Emperor God Hong Tian is so powerful. It's indeed a good choice. If Emperor God Hong Tian is willing to help us deal with the Dragon Palace, the group of people spoke slowly, their eyes sparkling with light. Master, the Three-Eyed Tribe and the Four-Armed Tribe have arrived. There shouldn't be any problems. At the same time, the Great Elder of Hong Men did not return to the palace. Instead, he went to another planet. The entire planet was a gigantic palace that occupied at least a third of the planet. In the center of the palace, the Great Elder of Hong Men bowed respectfully to Emperor God Hong Tian. Yes, although the two tribes are very weak, they still have some foundation. It will be a great boost for us if we absorb them. Emperor God Hong Tian said faintly. Master, the Dragon Palace is famous and they have strange assassination techniques. Are we really going to be enemies with them? The Great Elder of Hong Men hesitated and said. The people of the Dragon Palace entered the Divine Garden Star and killed all your junior brothers. We must take revenge. On top of that, The Dragon Palace has the ability to enter the Divine Garden Star. That means they have the ability to enter other planets. Now that the various races have been intimidated by the Dragon Palace, even though the Ninth Order God Emperor Realm and Peak God Emperor Realm experts dare not act recklessly, they have been investigating the Dragon Palace's nest. After such a long time, the base of the Dragon Palace must be in the ruins of the Ink Han tribe, just like us. They should have obtained some inheritance from the Ink Han tribe. Sooner or later, we will encounter the Dragon Palace. Emperor God Hong Tian said faintly. From the information released by the Three Eyes tribe and the Four Arms tribe, he had already confirmed that the expert from the Dragon Palace was the one who killed his disciple. The Great Elder of Hong Men nodded. The Dragon Palace can assassinate 8th Order God Emperors, and the strongest is a 9th Order God Emperor. Although they are not weak, you can easily kill them with your skills, he said respectfully. Half a month later, we will send an invitation to the Dragon Palace through the AI. It will be great if they come. Emperor God Hong Tian's eyes shone brightly. Yes, Master. The Great Elder of Hong Men nodded and left. Divine Dragon, the inheritance of the Ink Han tribe. The luck of the Dragon Palace is really good. If we can obtain it, the Red Mist tribe might be able to step into the ranks of the lower-ranked tribes in the universe. Emperor God Hong Tian murmured to himself as he closed his eyes. Dragon King, the Red Mist tribe will be established in half a month's time. They are now inviting us to their ceremony through the AI. Not long after, Prime Minister Turtle walked into the Dragon King Hall and reported the news to Wang Xian. Red Mist tribe. Domain-level tribe. Wang Xian raised an eyebrow when he heard the news. Dragon King, it's the ruins of the Ink Han tribe. The famous Emperor God Hong Tian established the tribe. Emperor God Hong Tian has the strength of a peak emperor god, and he is also a sorcerer. Now that he has established a tribe and invited all the tribes and domain-level tribes in the void, I believe most of them will give him face and go. Prime Minister Turtle said. Founding ceremony? Wang Xian was deep in thought. If our Dragon Palace goes, we might meet experts from the Rare Ancient tribe and the Brain tribe. However, there are some benefits. Based on our investigation, the forging and alchemy abilities in the center of the universe are not as good as the Fire Hammer tribe and Dragon Queen Feng Wan. Our Dragon Palace has to develop in the center of the universe eventually. This is an opportunity. Prime Minister Turtle said. Sure, I will personally lead the team to see the various tribes and tribe. Wang Xian nodded and made up his mind. Now that the resources of the Dragon Palace had been depleted, it was impossible for them to improve quickly. They could only use other methods. Alchemy and blacksmithing were a way to quickly accumulate resources. In that case, they would meet the experts of the various tribes and tribes. Chapter 30-24, Emperor God Hong Tian Death to disobey 1-inch Emperor God Hong Tian, the Red Mist domain-level race. Inside the Dragon King Hall, Wang Xian was looking at the AI, searching for information on Emperor God Hong Tian. Wang Xian knew a thing or two about Emperor God Hong Tian. Apart from that, he had killed many of Emperor God Hong Tian's disciples. But the last time he attacked, it was the other party who wanted to kill them. He didn't have a good impression of Emperor God Hong Tian. This time, if it wasn't for the fact that he wanted to see the various races, if it wasn't for the fact that he wanted the Dragon Palace to truly step into the center of the universe, he probably wouldn't have gone. The main reason why he rushed over was because of the nomological ability he had obtained. Yin-Yang World Breaking. The Yin-Yang Destruction World could break through the seal of the Space Lock Array. Even if there was any danger, they could escape directly. Secondly, although the Dragon Palace had offended the Rare Ancient race and the Brain race, they might not dare to do anything to them. Moreover, Emperor God Hong Tian was establishing a race. At this time, all the forces that came would give Emperor God Hong Tian face and wouldn't cause trouble. But what Wang Xian didn't know was that the news of him killing Emperor God Hong Tian's disciple had already been known. And a wanted order had been issued. But the wanted order was limited to the disciples and grand disciples of Emperor God Hong Tian and wasn't made public. This was to prevent Wang Xian from publicizing the method of entering the Divine Garden Star. Hence, the wanted order was not issued on the AI. Time passed day by day. The day of the Red Mist Race's establishment was approaching. Welcome, elders of the Sky Flame Race. Thank you for coming. Welcome, leader of the Shape Moon Race. Thank you for coming personally. Half a month later, on a planet in the center of the Mohan clan's ruins, many powerful races were rushing over from the starry sky. There were experts from the Sky Flame Race who were covered in flames, like gods of fire. There were experts sitting on crescent-shaped artifacts. There were experts riding all kinds of mounts. Every group was emitting a terrifying aura. Any one of them had at least a 7th-order God-Emperor. In the void, the experts of the Red Mist clan in black and red clothes greeted the people from different clans with smiles on their faces. Today was the Red Mist Race's establishment ceremony. Half a month ago, the Red Mist Race had invited all the major forces. For a domain-level race that had just been established in this part of the universe, they naturally had to go over and get to know them. Whether it was to befriend him or to investigate his background. The birth of a domain-level race would definitely attract the attention of all the major forces. The weaker races and domain-level races even sent their top experts over with congratulatory gifts. Dragon King, there are a lot of experts here. They are all the top experts in this starry sky. In front of the planet of the Red Mist Race, the Sky Array 8 Directions Devilish Shaw and the rest were following Wang Xian. They looked around and transmitted their voices. The establishment of a peak god Emperor Magus is still a huge commotion here. In this void territory, it has been close to 1 billion years since the birth of a domain-level race. Wang Xian smiled as he recalled the information he had seen from the universe artificial intelligence. It wasn't that easy to jump from a horde race to a domain-level race. At the very least, he needed 2 9th-order God Emperor realm experts. The second was the foundation. There were only a dozen or so domain-level races around the Inkhan clan ruins. Among them, there were only 4 relatively strong domain-level races. These 4 domain-level races had peak God Emperor realm experts guarding them. The strength of a force represented the amount of resources it could get. And the rise of a strong force in a starry sky would also have a significant impact on the surrounding forces. May I know which force you are from? In the void of the planet, a 5th-order God Emperor Magus swept his gaze across Wang Xian and the rest. His eyes lit up and he immediately went up to them and asked with a smile. Dragon Palace, 8 Directions Devilish Shaw said plainly. It's you guys from the Dragon Palace. Please come in. The expert from the Red Mist Race was surprised and immediately gestured with his hand. Dragon King, this guy must have recognized us. His acting. Devilish Shaw looked at the expert from the Red Mist Race and transmitted his voice to Wang Xian. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly. Lead the way. 8 Directions Devilish Shaw continued. Dragon Palace? Are they from the Dragon Palace? How dare they come? Emperor God Hong Tian seems to have invited the Dragon Palace through the universe artificial intelligence. Why don't they come? Many powerful forces are wary of the Dragon Palace now. This is the first time I've seen experts from the Dragon Palace. Do they have the bloodline of the divine dragon? Is the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace here? This is the Dragon Palace. The words of the Red Mist Race Magus immediately attracted the attention of the surrounding people. Some people looked over with curiosity and surprise. Today, the Dragon Palace was not unknown in this part of the void. Its terrifying assassination methods were feared by all the races. Seeing Wang Xian and the rest, the surrounding experts were curious. Dragon Palace? Are they from the Dragon Palace? At the same time, more than 20 experts flew over from behind. They had huge heads, 4 limbs, and skinny bodies. Their eyes were filled with murderous intent as they looked at Wang Xian and the rest. These 20 people were experts from the Brain Spirit race. This was the first time they had seen experts from the Dragon Palace. It was a little frustrating to say it. The other party had already assassinated 2,000 of their emperor gods. Wang Xian and the rest, who were descending to the planet below, sensed the murderous intent behind them and turned to look. Here. Orokai and the rest recognized the race with the huge head immediately. They placed their hands on their necks and touched them provocatively before turning around. Hee. Wang Xian also smiled faintly. The current Dragon Palace did not take the brain-spirit race seriously at all. If not for the fear of a life-and-death struggle, and if not for the fear of arousing the resentment of other forces, they would already have the power to annihilate the brain-spirit race. The people from the Dragon Palace are so arrogant. Some of the races in the surroundings were paying attention to the situation here. Seeing the two's provocative gestures, they whispered. The Dragon Palace also has the confidence to be arrogant. A remote force in the starry sky is rumored to have a subdragon and a divine dragon. Many forces covet it. Now, all the forces are wary of them. They are really strong. Some experts from the forces discussed. Everyone from the Dragon Palace, this way please. The Red Mist race expert who was leading the way smiled and guided them. Some experts from the Red Mist race looked over with sparkling eyes. Soon, the news of Wang Xian and the rest's arrival reached the experts from the Red Mist race. Good news. The people from the Dragon Palace are here. Chapter 3025. Master, the people from Dragon Palace are here. In a palace on a star in the ruins of the Ink Han clan, an elder from the Red Mist clan came to the hall and reported to Emperor God Hongtian, who was sitting on the throne. They're here. God Emperor Hongtian sat there with a red halo floating above his head. A smile appeared on his face. Yes, Master. Besides the Dragon King, the 3 domain-level clans, the Heaven Inferno clan, the Heaven Sea Raw clan, and the Pangolin clan have arrived. Only the Heavenly Underworld clan has yet to arrive. I heard that the one from the Heavenly Underworld clan is back. Emperor God Hongtian said plainly. Yes, Master. The one from the Heavenly Underworld clan has suddenly returned after disappearing for tens of millions of years. I heard that he was trapped within the Ink Han clan ruins. The old man replied respectfully. Hehe, I wonder how much he has improved. Emperor God Hongtian said plainly, his eyes gleaming coldly. Dragon King, the few from Dragon Palace, this way please. On a star beside the Tongtian Tower, Wang Xian and the rest were led to a palace by the experts from the Red Mist clan. Many forces had already arrived in the palace. Among them, the stronger forces were seated near the front. Wang Xian and the rest were also arranged to be seated near the front. Dragon King, the 3 clans in front are the strongest domain-level clans in this starry sky. Wang Xian and the rest sat down, and the voice of the sky formation was heard. He swept his gaze across the Heaven Inferno clan, which was covered in flames like the god of fire. The Pangolin clan had a shell on its back, a tail, a body like a pangolin, and a head like a human. The Heaven Sea Raw clan of the human race. The 3 domain-level clans all had peak Emperor God experts in charge. They were the strongest forces in this starry sky. As Wang Xian scanned the surroundings, some forces in the palace were also paying attention to them. The experts from the various forces were curious and surprised. This was the first time the Dragon Palace stood in front of these forces. The few of you must be the higher-ups of the Dragon Palace. I have to say that the assassination techniques of the Dragon Palace are really strong. Suddenly, an expert from the Heaven Inferno clan, whose body was covered in flames, said plainly. A force must have the strength to establish itself. Otherwise, it can only be controlled by others. We, the Dragon Palace, are new here. Please forgive us. Wang Xian cupped his fists and smiled when he heard the words of the experts from the Sky Yang tribe. There's no need for that. I heard that there's a semi-dragon in the Dragon Palace. Can we have a look? At the front, the expert from the Mountain Pisser race said faintly. There's no need to take a look. We, the Dragon Palace, are afraid that you will do something bad. Wang Xian said plainly. Haha, the Dragon Palace is really interesting. An expert from the Qianhai Gui race laughed. Around them, the other forces heard their conversation and listened quietly from behind. With the Dragon Palace's current power, ordinary domain-level clans wouldn't dare to be too arrogant. Only a few powerful races in their universe had the right to do so. Welcome to the ceremony of the Red Mist race. At this moment, a voice suddenly rang out. Hearing this voice, everyone's heart trembled slightly. Buzz. In front of the main hall, the entire building suddenly disappeared, and an incomparably spacious road appeared. The path continued to extend forward, and an incomparably huge star appeared in his line of sight. This is. Seeing this, everyone's pupils constricted slightly, and their eyes flickered. Everyone, please come with us. 2 Ninth Order God Emperor realm experts from the Red Mist race flew over and stood on both sides of the path, welcoming the crowd. It seems like Emperor God Hong Tian has occupied quite a number of stars in the Ink Han Dynasty ruins. The experts from the Qian Hai Gui race stood up and walked towards the path that had appeared out of nowhere. The experts from the Mountain Pissa race and the Sky Yang tribe also stood up and walked towards the path. There are a total of 9,999 stars in the Ink Han Dynasty ruins. It seems like Emperor God Hong Tian has deciphered some of them. Emperor God Hong Tian's strength is considered top-notch in our universe. His attainments in array formations should be unrivaled. The foundation of the Red Mist race in the future will be the stars in the Ink Han Dynasty ruins. The experts of some forces were shocked as they walked forward one by one. As they walked on the path formed by array formations, the experts moved at high speed. There was a huge star in front of them, and there were many majestic palaces on the star. Look to the left and right. Emperor God Hong Tian must have obtained quite a number of stars. At this moment, some of the experts looked around. In the surrounding void, there were also great paths that were connected to the stars. As far as the eye could see, he could see dozens of stars connected together. This. Emperor God Hong Tian actually deciphered so many stars. Look over there. If I remember correctly, that is the Divine Garden Star of the Ink Han Dynasty ruins. Emperor God Hong Tian has also deciphered the Herb Garden of the Ink Han Dynasty ruins. Let's not talk about whether or not there are any powerful pills in the Divine Garden planet in the ruins of the Ink Han Dynasty. Just that planet alone is worth a lot. No wonder Emperor God Hong Tian dares to establish his race. He has such a strong foundation. All the experts from other forces looked over, and their faces were filled with shock. Even the 3 top-notch domain-level race experts had a solemn look on their faces. After all, this used to be the star of a powerful primary race in the universe. The group of people walked forward. There weren't many of them. There were more than 100 forces, and there were only a few 100,000 people in total. Are those the disciples of the Red Mist race in front? As they walked to the star in front of them, they saw experts from the Red Mist race standing on both sides. They were arranged in 2 rows on the left and right. The disciples in the 2 rows were all 7th Order God King realm and above. At a glance, there were more than 100,000 disciples of this level. They were all Emperor God Hong Tian's grand disciples. As they walked forward, they came to a huge plaza with huge flags placed on it. The red flags fluttered in the air. There were more than 50,000 experts from the Red Mist race standing in front of the plaza. Every one of them was a god emperor. Thank you for attending our Red Mist race's establishment ceremony. Emperor God Hong Tian was sitting on the central throne at the front of the plaza. A smile appeared on his face when he saw the arrival of the forces. Everyone's eyes shone brightly as they looked ahead. Since Emperor God Hong Tian has established his race, we are naturally here to offer our congratulations. An old man from the Qian Hai race said indifferently. For you all to be able to come here is giving me, Hong Tian, face. Emperor God Hong Tian laughed and stood up. Today, I, Emperor God Hong Tian, announce the establishment of the Red Mist race to conquer the universe.